Hey, how y'all doing? This is Seji here to bring you another live stream. It's been quite a day directly for me. I actually had an Uber Eats order stolen. I'll probably get to that a little bit later on during the stream and everything in a sense. But one of the main reasons that I wanted to do this live stream was to go over a few videos of which that I will have some solo standalone videos coming directly up for you guys a little bit later. Yo, what is up, Ty? What is up? What is up? But I wanted to see if I was just tripping, right? Because I uploaded a video, right? And it was a video about a mother who rolled up on her daughter and the young dude that she was, talking to at the playground, right? Again, shout out to the 1.4 who pulled up to just so happen to see the video. Um, let me see, because I'm looking at some of the comments here because I keep getting some of I'm going to make sure to actually highlight some of these. So I'm actually trying to cap them right now because I'm a little bit all over the place because dealing with orders and stuff getting stolen. I'm highly pissed right now. Um, But yeah, the mother, she basically pulled up. Matter of fact, this is what I'll do, right? Instead of me talking, I'm gonna sit up there and just play it and let y'all see it, right?
Days and this what you out here doing? What you doing? Minding your business. Boy, get your hand from around my daughter. What's your name? Bobby Thompson. Where you from? Around this way? Who your folks here, son? And what y'all doing? Little girl, let me tell you something. Also, this what you doing? Yep. This what you doing, Zai? Yep. Now I've been looking for you for two. And this what you doing? You know you got to miss. She got to miss a report on her, son. And you out here chilling with her. So you liable for to go to jail. Do you understand me? Yes, ma'am. Do you understand me? Yes, now what y'all? You say y'all just chilling. Yes, how you meet Zyla? On social media. On social media. Yes, what social media y'all meet on? Instagram. Instagram. Girl, you got 3 seconds. Shut the. No, you shut up. Shut up. Cause this the life you want to live. I don't care. This what you want to do? No, you ready for babies now, huh? No. You ready for babies, little boy? No, ma'am. So what you doing out here? Just chilling. Oh, y'all just chilling. With your arm around her, y'all just chilling. Yes, ma'am. So you want to disrespect a young lady like this? Do you see how she disrespected her mama? Yes, ma'am. Would you disrespect your mama like this? No, ma'am. You got 3 seconds to get your ass up out of here before I call the police.
So we were able to hear that, right? So again, all of the mouth, all of the anger that she had, she made sure to direct it directly at the young boy that was there. And again, they met off of an app. When you see the young dude, he don't look like he's that type to be trying to cause no problems, trying to do things unprotected. Let me just roll this right back so you can see both of them right there. Right, daughter directly to the left. The young dude is directly to the right side. All throughout the video, the young man was respectful. Out of all the videos that I've watched thus far of younger generation talking to those who are older, he was the most respectful that I have seen in a very long time. But the mother didn't care about that. She wanted to go off on him. She wanted to threaten him with supposedly aiding and abetting, that type of deal, and also threatening with calling the police. And I'm like, that doesn't make any type of sense because realistically, if your daughter's been missing, that is your fault. That has nothing to do with him. Matter of fact, he might just be one of many young men that your daughter may be talking to or directly in contact with. But she doesn't want to look at that. She doesn't want to look at the fact that she has poor parenting skills, and because of whatever discourse is happening directly in the home, she is the reason why her daughter decided to run away or do whatever it is that she is doing. Again, um, at no point in time should that mother have decided to have any type of like anger directly at that young man or try to speak to him in that type of tone or threaten him and all this other type of stuff. Like it's like I said before, and I titled directly in the video, I'm like, she is the reason why many young black boys out here don't happen to come into contact with a lot of young black women, because you got mothers like that that will automatically decide that, oh, I'm about to rah 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 and do all of this other type of stuff. I'm about to throw all of this anger and frustration, directly at you, even though you don't got nothing to sit up there and do with it, right? So right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get all of these comments because I had some folks pulled directly up because I made sure to make some responses. Let me see. Somebody said, "Wow, the first statement." Okay, yeah, because then the other person was sitting up there asking about my age. Like, yo, do you how old are you? Do you have kids? And I'm like, so you got to have kids now in order to have a comment directly on what we were able to see directly in the video. The mother was 1,000% disrespectful. Then on top of that, I had somebody else. I had a loser that pulled up and wanted to sit up there and say, "Oh well, if the father was there, that boy would have, I had to worry about picking his teeth up off the ground." And I'm like, what type of grown man? So nothing is happening here. The most that he had was his arm was around the girl. But you're saying that a grown man, some father directly out there, would just roll up on this young dude and just automatically knock his teeth out. That, like I said, a lot of y'all are just weirdos. A lot of y'all are 1,000% weirdos when it deals with the responses that y'all have to these videos that I post. Because I'm like, some of the responses just don't even make sense. It's like sometimes I'm just floored by some of the responses, that I happen to get. But like I said, this is the internet, and this is what people just so happen to do. So let me get these. Let me get a few of these directly up here. Gotta zoom them in. Try to fix them. Also, like I said, let me know what y'all feel about the video. I'm actually looking at a whole different screen now. We got 35. I got you. So we got 35 in here. Let me just replay this one more time.
Days, and this what you out here doing? What you doing? Minding your business. Boy, get your hand from around my daughter. What's your name? Bobby Thomas. Where you from? Round this way? Who your folks here, son? And what y'all doing? Little girl, let me tell you something. Also, this what you doing? This what you doing, Zai?
Yep.
Now I've been looking for you for two. And this what you doing? You know you got to miss. She got to miss a report on her son. And you out here chilling with her. So you liable for to go to jail. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what y'all? You said y'all just chilling. How you meet Zyla?
On social media.
On social media. What social media y'all meet on?
It don't matter.
Instagram. Girl, you got 3 seconds. Shut the
No, you shut up.
shit up. Cause this the life you want to live.
I don't care.
This what you want to do?
No, you keep
You ready for babies now, huh? You ready for babies, little boy?
No, ma'am.
So what you doing out here?
Just chilling.
Oh, y'all just chilling. With your arm around her, y'all just chilling.
Yes, ma'am.
So you want to disrespect a young lady like this? Do you see how she disrespected her mama?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you disrespect your mama like this?
No, ma'am.
You got 3 seconds to get your ass up out of here before I call the police.
So again, I just want to note the young man was 100% respectful. Any questions she specifically asked of him, he gave information. Like I said, it's very annoying. it's it's ultra annoying. Dealing with folks out here. When at certain times you would think that people could actually see certain things and whatnot. Obviously not. Obviously not. Where am I going to put this comment? I don't know. I just put it below. I'll just come back for it. It's whatever. So let me just get y'all this image so I can read off some. Oh, I got an error. Why I can't download this now? Okay, there we go. So let me just get this image directly for you guys. Because like I said, I'm highly baffled. I'm highly baffled. So wait, did it mess up on the image? Yep, it did for some reason. I don't know what happened there. That's a little bit weird. All right, let me just take that down real quick. Let me just get another one. I don't know what. Ah, okay, that's what happened. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Think I might have one of them twice. Yeah, I do. So it's actually good that it messed up because I actually had one of the comments up there twice. Let me just make sure that I got both of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I missing here? 3, 1, 2, 4 orange. I'm missing one. That one here. Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's the one I'm missing. Gotcha. Like I said, shout out to Bob Ross. Sometimes you got those helpful mistakes. You got those little handy dandy mistakes that happen. Because I was actually going to miss two comments directly from the comment section. The one at the bottom is going to be a little bit smaller because I'm trying to have it fit with the rest of the comments. So please forgive me on that one. Just make that the background for it black so you guys can clearly see it. All right, so it should be do high quality, download that, and we should be in business. All right, going directly to this image here. Might have to, try to zoom it in, but I'm going to read it off directly to you. So starting at the top, Geechee, he said, wow, Seji, the first statement you said, and this is dealing with my response. He said, wow, Seji, the first statement that you said is complexion and black men and women relationship dynamics. The mother didn't threaten him with jail time. She said she's a missing person and he could be involved. Why do actually she said that he was in a sense liable? She clearly stated that. Right, basically an accessory, all the other type of good stuff. I'm not sure or understanding what it is that people are listening to and hearing. She listed two things directly there that dealt with jail and that dealt with him. Later you said it. Why does he have his arm around her when they are preteens? Because they like each other. They were talking directly online. They met each other. I did the exact same thing when I was in school, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people did. I'm not sure why people are making it so weird that preteens are this close. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit baffled because I'm pretty sure a lot of people had boyfriend and girlfriends at a very young age, but magically everybody was acting like they were just virgins and they were just innocent to the world and they were just into just holy, cartoons, Barbie dolls or whatnot or whatever. And they never thought about the opposite sex at all up until they hit 18. Next, he said, they will be parents by the end of the month. Not sure where you got that one from. Would help that boy. Would help that boy could give that girl. Neither could help themselves. Seji, do you have children? Stop comparing the adult relationship to children, teens. That mother didn't want a baby to be a mother. Baby is a metaphor. Seji, you're talking about grown folks' business to kids. Actually, I'm not. And as I told directly to this person, I'm like, it's crazy how people got an issue with me in my commentary, but yet we got grown adults having open relationship conversations, sexual conversations on TikTok. TikTok primarily was a whole bunch of kids that were on there. Kids were just on there having fun. All of a sudden, somehow, some way, adults made their way over there and decided to take it over. And now we have the TikTok that you clearly have at this moment in time, where you got 12, 13, 8, whatever year olds on there, and they're seeing all of these sexualized images and dances and the way that people are acting, right? People that are older than them, and they're mocking and copying a lot of that stuff. But yet I'm the one that's problematic. I'm the one that's pushing adulthood, adult relationships directly on kids. Come again? How did we get that? How did we get here? Everything that those two kids are doing right now, that's exactly what a lot of other people out there, including myself, did when we were younger. But in my difference, we didn't have the whole cell phone with what is it? with Twitter, TikTok, and all this other type of stuff. You have phone chat lines. That's what you had back then, right? Or maybe you might have just saw somebody in a store or walking down the street or whatever it was. But like I said, those kids didn't do anything illegal. They weren't doing anything harmful or anything of the sort. And to automatically state by the end of the month that those kids were automatically going to be parents is crazy. Like I told people before, I was like a virgin up until like what, 20? So I'm a little bit confused on how your automatic thought process as a grown adult is that as soon as these kids get together, they're automatically about to start doing stuff. Maybe that's you projecting because that's what you did. Because like I said, I didn't sit up there and do that. For all intents and purposes, compared to a lot of other people that I've had conversations with, I had a late start. So, like I said, I don't know how people have these thought processes where they think that as soon as two people come together, they're automatically just about to start doing whatever. That's wild work. Then the person responded, it was like, it's obvious that the girl is troubled. There are family difficulties, and we don't know what's happening, but yet you're commenting. If both teens continue to hang out with arms around her, I guess you meant each other, they will be teen parents. Okay, I like I said, crazy. If her father was there, he would have told him to get his arms off of her and get to walking. You show videos of parents with their children without the backstory, and how are we supposed to have a backstory? What are you talking about? So what am I, like Scorsese? I'm supposed to sit up there and have BTS footage and all this? Like, what are people? Let me just monitor my language. Are people slow? It's like what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Like some of these comments sometimes are just unreal when I see people actually like write this stuff out. And then what did he say? You said why does he have his arms around her? Why do you think a teenager can take care of another teenager? I didn't say that a teenager could take care of another teenager. What I specifically stated was the fact that because the young man was raised, and you can obviously tell that he was raised by good parents, right? A decent household, right? And the way that he respected and he responded directly to the mother, no matter how she was talking, he still fear of God, all that other type of good stuff. What I was saying is that if how he was raised and how he is, if he is by her for a certain period of time, all of that is going to rub off on her. So if he may potentially have a good relationship with his parents or whatnot or whatever, that could potentially rub off on her. He may be able to get into her ear, but like, yo, maybe you should give, your mom a chance. Maybe, y'all could talk it out, work it out, and, things like that and all this other. That's what I was saying. That's what I meant by being able to help, which is, basically having a positive effect directly on that person by proxy, right? Next, what is it? What was it? You said, why the girl is a runaway? That has to do with the mother. I don't know what else to sit up there and tell you. Looking at the mother's mouth, I can clearly understand why she's a runaway. You said many questions. Both the girl and the mother are struggling in a relationship that a boy wouldn't help. Stop comparing adult relationships to troubled teens. I'm not comparing adult relationships. I'm talking about stuff that I've done. I'm talking about stuff that I've been through. Like it's Jesus Christ. This is why I know that people, this is why I sit up there and say, like, it gets very tiring because I know for a fact that when I happen to speak, people ain't listening. I know that for a fact. People just they see videos, they listen to like the clip, they may listen to like a minute, a minute 50 of what I'm saying, and then they start mad typing. They start writing these paragraphs and all this other type of stuff. Next person, this Steph Marie, right? She said, yes, he is. I'm starting to wonder if he's a tether himself, talking about me. Because the way this was a very divisive move, he's playing on purpose, shaking my head. So, like I told people before, if I talk about the Black community, if I give solutions, if I talk about subjects that should be highlighted, this is what happens. Automatically out of the blue. Oh, I think he got to be a teller. He's not FBA. He's not Black American. He's not one of us. I mean, I guess so. And this is why I keep sitting up there telling people. This is why I told y'all before. I'm not even for like the whole title of like a leader or whatnot or whatever, because folks can decide to like give you that one day and then take it the next day. Like I said, if I'm going to be anything, it's whatever I call myself. That's what it is. Like if I decide to fall, I fall because I went about stuff my own way. It's not going to be because I fell because of the people. I ain't about to sit up there and fall because a whole bunch of people just like what I'm talking about, how I'm talking about it, and all this other type of. I'm not doing that. So, like I said, if people hate me, they're gonna hate me because I'm standing directly on what I'm saying and what I mean. That's it. And like I said, these comments are a case in point. We're going to keep going. Uh, then she had a response to somebody in the comment section. She was like, "Exactly. And you see how easy it is to divide us? Just read the comments. Like a devil, he came with this nonsense to stop our community from rising together." And after looking at people's profiles, it's a lot of non-FBAs and others pretending to be us, adding to the further divide with their instigating comments, shaking my head. The devil is the nicest thing that anybody's ever said to me. That by far, by far, by far, that is the nicest thing that anybody has ever called me. Out of all the time that I've been on this channel and that people have ever had negative comments, that by far is the nicest thing. I've been called homophobic slurs, been called a coon, Oreo, Tether, Turncoat, Uncle Tom, whatever negative name that you can basically list for a black man. I've been called that. I think I've also been called like a bullet bag and everything. Like I said, I've been called a lot of stuff. For me, adding up everything, I'm like, the devil is actually the nicest thing anybody's ever stated. That's by far, which is sad to say. That's the nicest thing that anybody's ever called me. That's some wild work, 100%. But it'd be like that, right? So next, let me see what else we got. What else did she write underneath? Yeah, okay. So a third comment, she was like, "Not all black women act like this." Technically, I said that, but I did say I did call out the divestors. I specifically called them by name, and I said all the other black women need to step directly to the front because I need an explanation directly for this type of nonsense, right? But she said, "Not all black women act like this. You're trying to push division amongst us when we should be sticking together. Call out the BS on this particular mother. Not all stooge like TF. Are you FBA, sir? Read the room then." And this is why I kindly just tell people I'm whatever you want me to be. I'm whatever devil you need me to sit up there and be. If you need me to be a tether, I will be that. If you need me to be from the islands, I'll be that. If you need me to be African, I will be that. Whatever you need of me, right? In order to make you sleep, in order to give you a justification to hate something, I will sit up there and be that. Like I said, I stopped having a problem with that a long time ago. I am completely fine and dandy with being the devil that you need and want. You know, I'm not the enemy that you want, but I'm the one that you need. I'm so happy to sit up there and be that. I have no problems. Like I said, because it gets to the point where, as stated before, doing this for so many years, wear and tear and everything of the sort, it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I'll be that. Like I told y'all before, I will directly, be that because that's what you got some of the folks out here basically want. Instead of going directly to those actual individuals where they can pinpoint and actually see it, they opt to go directly here. And like I said before, the exact same comments you see here, never seen these folks on pretty much any of the other videos, let alone even during live streams at all, where they could actually sit up there and speak up, where they could actually sit up there and say something. Magically, like I said, people don't get notifications on that or whatnot or whatever, but they will always sit up there and tell you that they were subscribers and all this other type of good stuff because at the ending, the very bottom comment that she has, she said, as Seji, you're wrong for trying to spread division amongst the community. Be accountable, bro. I guess. You didn't have to make this an all black woman thing. And furthermore, as a black woman myself, you normally call black men bro. Anyways, as a black woman myself, I didn't agree. So pushing this all narrative is wrong, and an agenda is to divide us, especially right now. it's hurtful to our community. Read the room. I'm super disappointed in you. Yeah, I unsubscribed. I keep telling people that YouTube normally tells us when people subscribe or not. I never saw this person before. Never saw a subscription directly on their name or anything of the sort. Like I said, I get women that say this all the time. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Why do you keep sitting up there telling me this, like as if it's going to sit up there matter? Like the last woman I highlighted, she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to unsubscribe from this profile, and then the other 2 or 3 profiles, I'm going to unsub." Okay, go right ahead, knock yourself right on out. And while you do that, make sure you block this channel on every single one of the profiles that you got. If you feel that I'm divisive, if you feel that I'm hateful, if you feel like I don't like black women, if you don't want to hear my mouth talking about whatnot, just block me. That's all you got to sit up there and do. It's not that difficult. I don't understand why you got grown ass adults out here that come crying and complaining. Like that's a little bit weird to me. Like you got more, like I said, the looking just I'm just some of these comments here. It's like you got more anger and you want to type so much, but yet you're not critiquing the mother, but yeah, you're in a sense protecting and defending, and you're okay with the treatment of how she treated that young boy who was not even, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong. But it's like, she's not problematic. The way that she runs her mouth is not problematic. The way that she talks to her daughter is not problematic. The way that she has a bad relationship with the daughter is not problematic. The fact that the mother said that the daughter was a runaway, that's not a problem. Nah. Said you the problem. And this is why I be talking about how bad behavior gets protected within the black community. People would rather critique or try to correct the person that's putting this directly out there so that we can talk about it and try to get a hold of it and fix it. They would rather sit up there and find that to be problematic versus the actual person who recorded the video. Color me surprised on that. Crazy. Another person said they're too young to date. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to date until I was 18. Also, you equating this situation to colorism shows how ignorant you truly are and you need to grow up. So the reason I listed the colorism thing, I sat up there and the funniest thing is, which is crazy, I sat up there and stated, and I made sure to list because too many times on social media, I've heard divestors and many other black women out here who have stated that, hey, young black boys and young black men and black men in general do not like darker complected black women and girls. And then they always want to sit up there and say that if a woman out here is darker complected, they all have the same story. Like, oh, I was always mistreated. I was never seen as beautiful. Nobody ever wanted to sit up there and date me. None of these black boys or black men ever valued me. And the main thing that I pointed out, I'm like, you can't sit up there and say that it doesn't exist because you're looking at it right in front of your face. So it's like, it's crazy that when I'm like, hey, I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'm going to knock out the point that a lot of these divestors and many others always want to sit up there and say when it deals with darker complected women. Like I said, that I was looking at it from the standpoint of something positive, because they like to say that it doesn't exist, that young black boys do not like black girls and they don't want to sit up there and be near them. They always want Becky. They want this and they want that. And I brought up those points, and still that went over people's heads, right? So then they were like, you're equating the situation to colorism shows how ignorant you truly are and you need to grow up. I mean, I guess I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So plenty of black men will stick their STD written Johnsons in any black woman that allows it, I guess, regardless of color. Wait, how do you say in any black? Okay. That doesn't mean that they like dark-skinned women, their children, and the mother is doing the right thing. We already know how y'all raise y'all boys to be promiscuous and degenerates. Some of them start running trains as early as middle school. So let me let you know something. I never ran a train on a girl in middle school. I wasn't a part of that club. Not even in high school. Wasn't a part of that club. I've heard stories. I knew of one story, and I talked about that story that happened in high school. It was, a black girl, and she was with the football team. And the only reason that the school knew about it was because somebody decided to print a letter describing what happened, and then they just threw it out directly to, in the hallways, and everybody like read about it and picked it up. I felt bad for it, right? But like I said, what happens happens. Um And then the generalization that she wanted to do, where it's like, oh, these black men out here, they all got STDs, and they're willing to sit up there and give these STDs to any, breathing, walking black woman that would let them sit up there and there. This is the talking points of a divester. Because the moment in time that I see everything negative that she's saying about a black men in general, and then she's also talking about young black, that's the divester. So, like I said before, I understand the demographic that decided to rise up out of nowhere and decide that they wanted to speak their piece and they wanted to get angry, which is crazy to me. 100% crazy, but it'd be like that. And the other thing as well too is when it deals with a lot of these instances of young girls being promiscuous, and I'm not talking about the far off narrative of something happened to them when they're young. I'm not talking about none of that. Let's keep it focused. A lot of these mothers who have daughters, they had sexual relations with boys at a very young age. And usually what tends to repeat itself is history. Because number one, a lot of parents are not going to sit up there and teach their kids that history so that the kids can learn from it and look at the situation that they currently have as the family that they are, so that those kids can be like, all right, I want to do better than my parents right now. A lot of parents are not going to do that because they don't want to be seen as stupid or making mistakes, being the dumb ones or anything like that. A lot of parents want to be the know-it-alls. They don't want to be questioned or judged or anything, especially by their kids. They don't want none of that happening. But inevitably, what ends up happening is that a lot of these kids while in high school, they end up doing the exact same thing that the parents did, because a lot of parents do not have full-fledged conversations. So more than likely how the daughter is acting was more than likely how the mother was sitting up there acting. But like I said, I'm the bad guy though. I'm I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Shout out to the divestors, pulling up one divestor at a time. Another person said, foundational Black American men and women need each other. Please don't let these videos cause you to hate each other. We can't have hate amongst foundational Black Americans with the dumb gender war stuff. This person, meaning me, is just trying to get views. I mean, we're all on social media, so inevitably views are going to sit up there and happen. But the main point to the video, just like all of the other videos that I have, are to have a conversation and to see how people think about what it is that they were able to see, not specifically from my talking points, but from their point of view on what it is that they were able to listen to and watch, right? But like I said, have other people sit up there and tell us, like, oh yeah, just this person's up here, they're just making money off the black communities. That's all they care about. That's all they do. Out of da, 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 right? Because they don't know nothing else. They're using the exact same regurgitated talking points because they have nothing. They have no proof of any of the things that they're sitting up here saying. But like I said, keep going. Another person said that the mother was out of pocket, but the father is going to sit there and let some dude have his arm around his teenage daughter in front of him? Question mark. If that boy was respectful, he would have removed his arm immediately. The daughter is the one here that's actually the villain, even with her mother being in the wrong as she is, as she sees it. Don't talk back that way. Right? Again, I'm just trying to figure out how did the young man having his arm around the girl end up being a part of the conversation or a problem like that. I'm just trying to like, it's like when I look at these comments and I see people talking about like the young man, it's like they're just trying to find and fix their mouths any type of way to say something negative about him, because he's not the stereotypical. He wasn't dressed in a stereotypical type of way. He wasn't carrying himself in a stereotypical type of way. He wasn't speaking in a stereotypical type of way. He was respectful. He was cordial. He answered every single question of that he was asked. But somehow, some way, he is still problematic and a demon. Like I said, I don't know, because I'm like I said before, I'm just trying to see if I'm tripping. I'm just trying to see, because I'm still looking at the other screen. I'm trying to see if I am the one that is tripping when it deals with this. Just trying to figure out. It's just like this. Like I said, this is wild, 1,000%, dog. Like I said, this is, I don't know. No, I'm trying to actually pull back real quick to see if we got some new comments. Let me see. Yeah, we do got some other comments responding back. Okay, yeah, that was Derek. Yo, shout out to Derek. I'm not even sure if he's even a part of the live stream or not, but I saw that he just wrote back. I'm trying to figure out if I can actually show y'all that comment that I seen earlier where the dude was talking about punching it. If the father was there, he would have like knocked his teeth out or whatever. I'm like, yo, the amount of stuff that people just like say out here, especially when it deals with like kids, it makes no type of sense at all. Like I said, for me, I wouldn't be, even if I was like the father, I'm not going to sit up there and be angry directly at him. I'm not. Because like I said before, if I raise that girl, I'm going to be directly angry at her because she know how everything is ran. She know how, we ain't doing none of this nonsense or whatnot. Like I said, I'm not about to sit up there and have no anger towards that young man at all. It's not. It's not. And technically, to a further extent, right, I would even have anger directly towards myself, as I stated before, because somewhere within my teachings or however it is that I am, I guess you could sit up to say moving, has had such a negative effect where my daughter could basically, decided that she wanted to start moving like this. Like I said, for me, when it deals with certain things, um, I'm about acknowledgement and responsibility of things that you cause, right? Things that you enable. I try to critique, in a lot of instances, okay, did I have an effect on the situation? Is this my fault? If so, where, when, how, and everything of the sort? And what do I need to do to sit up there and correct it? You know, but like I said, looking, directly at those folks who decided to sit up to respond, obviously that is not the type of time that they're on. They're not about that life at all. They're not about trying to, get to that whole point of understanding. Let me see. I'm trying to go back through the comments real quick. Nope, didn't respond on that one. Just trying to look directly down just in case. Nope, Geechee, that's the exact same comment he left earlier. Yeah, and that's it. All right. So we're clear directly on that one. So now we're going to go directly to the next video. Also, shout out to the quietest mouse for the 2 jewels. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to Jamal for the 440 jewels. Said Uncle Blurt. That's wild. I mean, for me, I don't got no problem with that. It's all good. It is for me. It is all good. Like I said, you gotta live long enough to to happen to see and get to that age. So like I'm fine with it. Like I said, I outlived quite a few of the young men who were part of my age range. Even been around long enough where I saw, one or two of them end up as a news story, for a variety of reasons. And I'm like, dang, I'm like, yo, so I take it, I take it. No problem, no problem. So now we're going to deal with another video. And this is one that I got coming up for y'all a little bit later. And this is, and I would love to see the same people that made comments on the other video, which I know it's not going to happen. I would love to see them on this video because this video is drastically ridiculous. And they probably not going to like, I'm trying to figure out how I spoke on there, but they probably not going to like my mouth on that video, on that commentary as well either. So for those out there who are raising sons and got sons, someone like black sons out here, I want y'all to pay attention to the girl directly in the pink, to how she moving, how she's acting, and what it is that she's specifically doing.
Better. Better. Where's my gong? Where's my
color your gong is?
That's not in it, yes.
Gong is.
Hold on.
Let me see what color your gong is.
Hold on.
You're acting like
Know
you're
her.
acting like a bitch.
I love it.
You want one phone? I got two.
No, I don't know her.
Where's your
She's
friend?
lucky he didn't hear her. She's lucky he didn't hear her.
I mean, you can't hit no brand stay up, nigga.
Huh?
You got no brand stay up. I don't give a fuck.
But I don't care. As a female, if I put my hands on a nigga, I'll expect him to hit me. If you're gonna disrespect somebody, it doesn't matter if you're a female or male. But I'm here for the disrespect. But she's lucky he didn't knock her the out. Because any nigga I was with would have knocked her the out.
Who's your baby daddy?
I'm dead dog. Why are you hitting people? Nah, she crashing out, y'all. She crashing out. She crashing out. All right.
Keep your composure because they'll send you right to jail. They'll send you right to jail.
Where's your friends, baby? Where's your friends?
I'm not going to jail. I play football. That shit was nothing.
I would have knocked her out.
So we saw that, right? So you had let me roll that back. You had this dummy directly to the pink, and let me just make sure to clarify this, right? Other than the two guys, well, the one dude to the left, he was I'm not sure if he was recording, but other than the two guys innocents there, you had all of those other guys there. They were watching and filming. They weren't trying to intervene. They saw specifically what was happening, how she was acting. They weren't really trying to separate nothing. They're trying to get her away from the situation. They were just letting it happen, right? So I'm just letting you know how the setups happen. Number two, you had girls there. Like I said before, when it deals with men out here getting like swung on and women trying to get physical with these dudes and they're trying to provoke and do all of these other types of nonsense, where do you normally see the women? But the bystanders sound like Porky Pig. That's all, folks. They're sitting up there being bystanders. They're sitting back. They're not doing nothing. They do not care at all. They letting it happen. You got the one girl that's sitting up there just filming it. So you got the one girl in the pink. She want to sit up there and start filming all of the ignorance. So she wants to get directly in the dude's face. She wants to call him a homophobic slur. And like I said before, this is what normally happens to black boys, young black men, and black men in general. Whenever these arguments tend to happen and guys ain't putting hands directly on women, we're having this conversation back and forth. Don't matter if it's normal conversation or if people yelling. This is what normally happens. This is what I've heard this so many times out there in public. I've heard this so many times. World Star, Facebook videos, and all this. I've heard this so many times, and it's always, I kid you not, it's always black boys and black men that always have to deal with being called a homophobic slur every single time. Every single time. Like I said, she's trying to antagonize and provoke. She got directly into his space. She putting her camera directly in his face, banging him in the head with the camera, sitting up there pushing him, sitting up there nudging him, knocking the phone directly out of his what's the name. Like I said, she's doing everything possible to have something happen. And this is why I sit up there and try to tell a lot of women about raising your daughters. The amount of patience that these two men sat up there and showed, she got a lot of grace. She received a lot of grace. She received a lot of grace. Like I said, there's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm trying to just keep myself, monitored. Because, like I said, this is ridiculous. And then she went and had an argument with a whole nother dude because she didn't get specifically what she was looking for there. So she went after the taller dude and she started swinging directly at him, putting her phone directly in his face and all this other. Like I said, man, it's trash. 1,000% trash. And to the women out there that's raising boys, I want you to know that girls like this, young women like this, they're the ones that your sons end up losing their lives. Every single day, somebody's son end up losing their life because of somebody like this. Because it's a setup at the end of the day. Because I promise you, she's not really there alone. And I promise you, she got males there. They just sitting back and just waiting for the dude to just look like he gonna push, right? To look like he gonna try to defend himself, so that them and like 5 to 10 other dudes will sit up there and jump out, and then they gonna sit up there and jump dude on the ground, stump him, punch him, and all this other type of stuff. She gonna be sitting up there recording, be like, yeah, 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 that's what, yeah, that's gonna sit up there and happen to you. You should never sit up there and did this. Should never did that. You should have da 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 da. As if she's on the right. She's that type. This one is the type right here to sit up there and get y'all sons' lives taken real quick. But as I stated before, you're not going to hear a lot of black women talk about these types. You're not going to hear a lot of black women get on social media and start trying to warn not only their sons, but other people's sons who are out there of these types. Because normally people like to sit up there and say it's always the black men, it's always the black boys out there. They're the only ones that's problematic. It's never the reverse. It's never the other side. But yet here we go directly with this video, where you can easily see that she's the problem. Matter of fact, let me just play this one more time. Play it one more time.
Better. Where's our phone?
Let me see what color your thong is.
But I'm not in it yet.
Hold on.
Let me see what color your thong is.
Hold on.
You're acting like
Let me see what color your thong
I love
is.
it.
That is crazy.
No, I don't know her.
Where's your
She's
friend?
lucky he hit her. She's lucky he didn't hit her.
I mean, you can't hit no brand stay up, nigga.
Huh?
You got no brand stay up. I don't give a fuck.
But I don't care. As a female, if I put my hands on a nigga, I'll expect him to hit me. If you're gonna disrespect somebody, it doesn't matter if you're a female or a male. But I'm here for the disrespect. But she's lucky he didn't knock her the out. Because any nigga I would with would have knocked her the out.
Who's the baby daddy?
I'm dead dog. Why are you hitting people? Nah, she crashing out, y'all. She crashing out. She crashing out. All right.
keep your composure because they'll send you right to jail. What? They'll send you right to jail.
Where's your friends, baby? Where's your friends?
I'm not going to jail. I play football. That shit was nothing.
I would have knocked her out.
Like I said before, 1000% crazy. And this is why I sat up there and said so many times that I don't really feel sorry when I hear or see of like videos where things are happening. Because I'm like, now I'm at the point, I'm like, what did you do? Because I want people to know that both of these young men had the patience beyond what I have. And they said they stayed there and just like dealt with it and all this other, tried to like laugh it off. The dude on the right from earlier, he was highly annoyed. Like I know for both of them, like adrenaline was running, it was pumping. It, like I said, it takes a lot. Women do not understand the type of grace that men just so happen to give them, to bestow upon them when they act this reckless and foolish. Like I said, the moment in time that a woman is acting like this and the guy is like laughing us off, he's trying not to take it serious so he doesn't automatically become ultra amped up. Because when you get amped, you're going to start just going off a reflex. Hands may be flying, rated E for everybody. But they can't decide to sit up there and do that no matter what she does. No matter what she does. Because at the end of the day, she'll sit up there and have people pull up, or people in the crowd, random Captain Saver, will pull up 5-10 deep, and now they all sitting up there fighting these two dudes directly over this one random woman who don't know how to move, don't know how to act. Like I said, this is why I don't sit up there and feel sorry when stuff happens. This is exactly why, because of stuff like this. And it's going to get worse. And that's why I told a lot of folks out there, whoever like raising sons, I weep for your sons. I feel so sorry for your sons, because these are the types of women that they got to deal directly with. And not only that, these types of women also are raising and having daughters. Good luck. Good luck. 100% good luck. So now let's go to the very next video here, and for those who have
Okay, because
for those for those who technically have some sensitive ears, I'm just going to sit up and say my apologies. I try to edit this as best as possible, um, but it'd be like that. Let's keep going.
y'all stay away from them big okay? Because let me tell you, I'm with this dude, boyfriend, whatever. Don't even get me started on that. But I'm with him. He move away or whatnot. He come back to visit. Of course, I need that. I ain't got. I don't know how long. So, little backstory. When I first met him, I couldn't take. I could, cause I ain't know. But I remember thinking in my head while he was like, But as the months progressed, it became easier. Okay, whatever. We'll fast forward to the motherfucking present. This down here, we and this almost like this is new, like, cause I ain't had to so long. This big, I ain't gonna lie. It took some time. It took some time to get used to, and I wasn't used to right then. Yo, I'm telling you, he ain't even drilling how he usually do. I cannot take this, bro. This hurting insides. Anywho, I tap out. I go lay by the air conditioner. I'm laying on the floor, butt ass naked, y'all. I start crying because my stomach hurt. Like, I don't ever remember it hurting that bad, but that shit, it was like he punched organ in my. All you know, I start getting hot as like I'm wet now. Like I hopped up, ran, had to go throw up. I don't know. Ain't no how the so big it make you throw up, and I ain't even right. I don't know what the triggered in my coochie, but I'm literally on the floor crying, curled up, throwing up, stomach hurt. My motherfucking stomach hurt because the big. And I feel like that day I gave a little bit too much pride. It was well deserved because that right there, I don't know who could take.
So back to what I was saying about modern women. Back to what I was saying about how these daughters are out here getting raised. And again, you have a lot of women out there that talk like this. Now, again, you would expect at a point in time, you would expect men to, in a sense, be, descriptive, describe stuff, like that or whatnot or whatever. But this is where we are. This is where we are. And again, as I stated before, in a sense, the description for the video, when it happens to go up, I said that certain information should be just kept private. This is why I set up and said that when it deals with things like this, you deal with some follow the leader type of mentality, where if you got women out here that got enough, light subscribers and all this other type of stuff, they're going to be, pulling directly up and, doing all the other type of stuff. Like I said, you had a whole bunch of, when I kid y'all not, I think she had during the time, if you happen to watch the video, the numbers might be a little bit slightly different from what I'm listing here. I want to say that during the time she had close to like 1 million views directly on that video. She had 2.3 million overall on her profile just by itself. But on this video that you were able to listen to, it was at least close to about a good million. And I think the comment section was technically light in a sense. I think you had about like 13, was it about 13K comments? I think it should have been about 13K comments. No, or was it 3? But either which way it goes, the amount of women that responded, and it was all like basically agreeing, and some of them was like, yo, send the dude like my way, or you might not be built for that, but I am. And you got some women that were stating that they were virgins in the comment section, laughing, crying, directly about it or whatnot or whatever. Other women was like, well, you had a bad time, dust yourself off and get back up there again. And like I said, it was all of this other type of stuff, right? And amongst that, you had other women that were smart. They were like, "Hey, I'm not going to sit up there and actually leave a comment on this, even though it it's funny, and I agree with everything that the other women are sitting up here saying." They decided to stay in the realm of anonymity by liking the comments. So you had, I think, one comment post had about close to about, I think it was like 15 to like 20, and the other one had high digits, up that high, as well too. Like I said, man, yo, at the end of the day, glory to the winner. But the same thing that I said up there and said at the end of the day is that women out here will pick and choose those guys. At no point in time in that comment section did I hear any of those women sit up there and say like, "Yo, you need to sit up there and look for a guy that's not going to use you for sex, and then just be like a one night stand and hit it and quit it. You need to find somebody who's going to love you and value you like the queen that you are, and love you like the black woman that you are, and respect you for who you are and not just use you." All of that stuff, like I said before, all of that stuff that you normally hear online that people want to sit up here and say. Like I said, people be talking with quote unquote forked tongues. People be talking double sided because, like I said, there were enough women up there to basically, in a sense, get the general consensus that all of them want this exact same story. Right? Might not, because one woman, I think, what did she say? She was like, "Yeah, lucky for you, because I can't sit up there and find that where I'm at." And another one was like, "Yeah, all the guys as of today, they're just small, and yeah, I don't know where those guys you're finding are located." I'm like, this is wild. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, that's wild. But like I said, glory to the winner though. And as I stated before, this is why you got a lot of dudes out here. They don't got to settle down. They don't got to get married. They don't got to get engaged. They don't got to do none of the things that a lot of women are saying because they got rosters. They got roster on roster on roster. They don't got to do nothing. Like I said, a lot of women don't even realize like they just rolling through as concubines. Like that is it. But yet they think that they're just with that dude, or they ain't sharing that dude or something. Like, yeah. It's all about the game. It's like, like I said, it's wild work. That is some wild work out there. I almost want to sit up there and say that she should probably get like a pap smear and some other stuff done, because you talking about like a lot of stuff hurting. I mean, like I said, it could be directly from that, but it also could be something else as well too, because I didn't hear her state nothing about a condom. Just saying. I didn't hear her state nothing about a condom, nor did I hear her state that she went to the OBGYN and had everything looked at. Even though she said that she was practicing, well, I'm not sure if she was practicing celibacy, but she was saying that she ain't had none in a minute. So it's, hey, like I said, I just be trying to figure out, like, when I look at these comments and it's videos like this, and you can clearly tell this is somebody in the early 20s, and I'm looking in the comments from like older women. I'm like, so where's that sisterhood at? I'm like, where are the women that sit up there and speak love and value directly into this girl? Because I'm like I said before, this dude who's popping up, he don't got to do nothing. He can just show up bare naked and he's automatically there. But yet this will be the same one talking about, yeah, I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready to settle down. I want this and that. And then it'll be some decent dude. She'll be like, okay, well, I'm not the type of girl. You're gonna have to, wait, 6 to like 9 months for anything to sit up there and happen. You're not even gonna know where I live or even stay. We're just I'm gonna meet you by way of Uber, or I'm gonna drive directly and meet you at the restaurant. She's gonna sit up there and make the relationship dude sit up there and wait eons, but yet she's still going back home and calling, this dude like every single week. Like I said, crazy work. This is the time frame that we're living in at this moment in time. Wild. Wild work. But like I said before, when it deals with this, a lot of the women that come through and they want to find problems directly with the content that I do, they don't never, say nothing on this. They will never say nothing on this. Like I said, it's crazy. All of those people that read off those comments who wanted to critique me and got a problem. Yeah, they're not going to pull up to this video. I promise you that they're not going to pull up to this video, and they're not going to have their mouth to open and say nothing, because you can't defend this. You can't defend this. There is no way. There's no way you can sit up here and defend this. And like I said before, somebody like this, I'm shocked she don't already have kids. I'm very much shocked. The way that she is moving, I am shocked that she doesn't have kids. That's mind-boggling. Because I know she got bodies. She got bodies on bodies. bodies, potentially even looking like a graveyard at this moment in time. She is a crypt keeper of those skeletons. But like I said, I didn't hear her speak anything of worth, anything of value. All of the stuff that people like to sit up there and say that, a lot of women out here are just, ultra smart and intelligent, and they know better than everybody else. And I didn't get none of this from this video though. I ain't getting none of that. But it'd be like that. What's up, Sham? Sham was like, I can't contribute to the conversation because I don't understand anything she said. I feel I tuned in at the wrong time. That's crazy. It'd be like that though. It'd be like that. It'd be like that again. Shout out to all the moderators that's here. During this moment in time, much love, respect, and appreciation. Like I said, it's scary out here. It is diabolical. It is diabolical. Oh my goodness. Anyways, let me go directly to the next video. This one is more of the instance of a more serious. It's not like so much like serious like that, but it is in a sense serious. So I got like both videos, and we're going to get directly into it here.
So I don't normally do this, but I feel like I need to shed some light about a situation. So my son is 17 years old. He's been working at Wingstop located in Spring, Texas on Rayford Road for about a month. Since he has worked, my son has worked about 135 hours and has only been paid for 5 hours. Went to his manager after his first check didn't come, and it should have been about $200 and something. He got $64 and some change a week after he was supposed to get his first paycheck. They said nothing about when the rest of the money was going to come. So next check should be about 52 hours on this check. No check at all. He calls his manager that morning. She's too tired to get up and tells my 17-year-old son that she will see about it or check into it on Monday. But this is Friday. So I'm like, okay, she doesn't want to do her job. Cool. She has a boss. I reach out to her boss. At first, she seems like she wants to help, and her name is Claudia. She's the district manager for the Rayford Wingstop as well as the Sawdust location. She seems like she wants to help. I'm telling her, hey, it's payday again, no money. She calls me back trying to argue with me after she discloses while I'm standing up in Wingstop at 8 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out why my son doesn't have a paycheck for all these hours that he has worked. Oh, well, I remember him. I had to go in and fix his wages because they were in there wrong. So I'm like, oh, okay. Again, I'm thinking she wants to help. She calls me about an hour and a half later, not making sense. Can't tell me where any of the money he's owed is. And when I'm like, okay, you're acting like this is the first time you're hearing about this situation, but this morning you told me that you remember my son because you had to go in and fix his wages. Oh, no, I would never give you misinformation. So my question is, why the hell is Wingstop playing with kids? These are children, and it's against the law for you to have a child to work and not pay them. This is Wednesday. He's been asking for his check since Friday and still going to work. Except for last night when he told them, hey, I can't come back until I'm paid. Claudia has had the current manager draw up severance papers. So instead of you trying to pay my son, Wingstop, who is 17 years old and underage, you would rather fire him than to pay him. So I'm trying to understand what kind of company, what kind of values, and what kind of integrity does Wingstop have as a company? Or is it your director, or district manager, Claudia, who's pulling the strings? Because I have gotten excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, it's not on us. It's HR. I sent a message to HR. A message, not a call, a message. And now you want to fire my son for refusing to continuing to work for free. Claudia. Matter of fact, I was going to say that you got the early donkey of the day, Claudia, but I'm giving you donkey of the effing year, Claudia. And Wingstop, if this is kind of district manager that you want working for you, I feel sorry for you, because she doesn't represent anything positive or anything that even says that this is the value or integrity that we want as a company. Unless that's the values that you want to do. That's the values you want to have. Work children for free. Ain't that called, like, what they call it when it's sweatshop work? So Wingstop, are we running a sweatshop by hiring these kids and not paying them? Is that what we're doing, Wingstop? So if everybody could share this, repost this, I'm trying to have as many people see this as possible, because it's not right. It is not fair. He has not missed a day. He has not been late. He has even stayed late almost every day. It has been times where he's gotten no break. And this is the thanks that a 17-year-old child who's trying to be responsible wanted to take initiative to say, hey, mom, I want to get a job. I want to help out. This is what you do to children trying to be responsible and not be out there running in the streets and getting into trouble.
So she was showing some of the text messages from the back and forth from the manager. So at this one, let me pull that back if I can. Right. So on this one right here, you see the mother writing. But before they said there is some up top, decent and in order. People are human. Disrespectful talking to my boss like that. The mother said, if I'm correct, you got paid today on time. Correct. My son has waited for his first time. That he got paid and got paid late. He called you to rectify the situation, and you said that you would deal with Monday. That was disrespectful to your employee. You didn't care as a manager. Now, she responded thinking that this is the son. The lady responded, tell your mom she needs to chill. She's talking to my boss, saying all types of stuff and talking about she's going to call corporate. Mother responded, this is the mom. Lady responded, number one, I was half asleep. Number two, I thought it was Saturday. And then it was some other conversations that they had a little bit after. And then there she's basically showing, um, I guess the timestamps, the payments, and everything of the sort, right? So now we go to the other video. Oh no, she made a larger one. Wish I could actually make this larger for you. I think that's as large as I can actually get it. But that is pretty much the detailed time clock directly up there.
So I want to say thank you for everybody who has showed support, who has shared and reposted the video about my son being employed at Wingstop and not receiving payment. So I wanted to update everybody because I know everybody is wondering what's going on. So I found Claudia's boss. His name is Dennis Alfaro. He was messaged on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. It's been, I want to say, 4 days. He has not replied. We just called Claudia again. She's saying that it has nothing to do with her. It has to do with the head office, whoever that is, because she's not disclosing a head office, the person she spoke to, a phone number, or anything. So as of right now, my son has not been paid. It looks like they're not trying to pay him. I have contacted a few attorneys, but they're not willing to take the case because he's owed less than $10,000. I don't know. I have reached out to the labor board again and left another message saying it's how you cannot get through, and I haven't received a call back. I have called EEOC as well, and they're saying that they don't feel like it's a discriminatory case, and they mainly handle cases for discrimination. So we are still pursuing as far as what would be the right way to handle it. I'm gonna be honest, my dad said I should go out there with signs and picket to draw attention I know a few people asked if I contacted the news. I contacted them at the beginning of all of this. I contacted Channel 13 and Channel 11, and neither one were interested in it. They said it wasn't really a newsworthy story. How is that? I have no idea. But I just wanted to come on here and give you guys an update. And again, I thank you for your support and appreciate you. Thank you.
No, Sham. What the mom was saying was that in order for the lawyer, the cops or whoever to basically go after the case or whatnot or whatever, it had to be $10,000. Like it would have to be a large sum of money for them to want to investigate or to do the job that needs to be done. So basically, because this is a low sum of money, they deem it to be unimportant. So they're not going to, go after it, and they'll just let whatever innocence happen. You know. No, Sham, she didn't say that he stole. She was saying that the people that she went directly to in order to, yeah. You said she has to report it to the labor board and file a complaint. I mean, she's pretty much the things that she listed. She even listed something that Mo had listed before. I think it was like the EEOC, and she had listed that directly in the video. And like I said, they're I don't know. Like I said, it's all over the place. And technically, the funniest thing is Dylan. But I forgot. The positive thing that I did want to list, because hopefully something may get done. Wingstop did pull directly up, and I gotta try to pull back. Yeah, Wingstop had said this underneath the video that was on X. Shout out to Brandon V World. Brother said $2 dono. He said, all I hear is excuses. Where's my money at? I feel like those managers are taking their money. Allegedly. Let me just allegedly, right? Because somebody got to explain where their kid's money's at, right? He's sitting up there working. He's working, over his hours. He's coming in on time and, doing what it is that they ask of him, but he can't, get his money on time. Crazy work. So Wingstop has stated on X, they said, oh no, we're sorry to hear that, and we want to make it right. Please send us a DM so we can help get a resolution for you. So, like I said, I saw that comment and I'm like, you know what? This would be a good day to sit up there and order from Wingstop, because I like the way that the business set up there and responded promptly, to the video. Like I said, I thought that was dope, and how this segues directly into Wingstop, dealing with the real world, dealing with me, is that I had actually ordered. I did actually put in that order around 1 something today, and lo and behold, a non-black woman ran off with my $52 order from Wingstop. The amount of pissed I was, and I saw the woman directly go to pick up the order. I got the notification. I was like, all right, cool. Saw the woman, and she was going directly to Wingstop. I was like, all right, cool. So, when it get done, she's going to sit up there and pick it up. And then it started looking a little bit weird on the app, where it was showing a person at Wingstop, and then it showed them getting closer to Wingstop, and then it showed them at the Wingstop, and almost looked like they're circling, and then it showed them leaving Wingstop, and then all of a sudden, that's when that driver had disappeared off the app. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, hello? Hello? I'm like, nah, brother. I'm like, nah. I'm like, you're not going to sit there and tell me that this woman just drove off with my order. She went up in there and drove off with my, like, the amount of like thoughts, because I love food. And I'm saying, and I'm not even like a dude that got like real weight directly on him, but I do love food though. The amount of thoughts that I had directly in my mind, the moment in time, I was like, she ran off with my order. And how I know she ran off with the order is because they sent out another person to go get it. So one dude, Hispanic dude, I think he just dropped the order. I never got a response, directly from him. So then there was a white dude, and he had told me that he had just left the house to go pick up the order because, I guess it pinged or showed directly up. So he drove from his home directly to the Wingstop, and he was sitting up there telling me, he was like, yo, Wingstop stated that your order was already picked up by a woman. And I was like, I figured that's what happened. And it was like, yeah, there's nothing here, directly for you. And I was, explaining, we was going, having a conversation, directly about it. And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to, um, try to, cancel the order directly on your side, because if not, you may get double charged, and they're going to keep, sending people. I didn't see a button to actually cancel it, because the only thing that they did after he left the chat or whatever is that they sent out another driver. But that dude was, very helpful and whatnot. And I think he even had a conversation with the employees, there. And I sat up there and went through and made a report, or however you want to sit up there and say it, on Uber. I want to also note to a lot of people, just in case if you do use Uber Eats, I want you to understand that Uber Eats does not have a direct number that you can call them by. They want you to only use the app. This is what happens when you don't have workers that can just be on beck and call in the United States, when it deals with a lot of these apps that everybody tends to use, and they want to hire everybody else to sit up there and do it. So they would rather you go through AI in the app, or however it is that they decide to sit up there and do it, and try to get the situation out there, right? So the next person that I had, shout out to the lady, I think her name was like Beatrice or whatever it was, black lady. And she was the next person to go, try to, pick up the order. I originally thought, I was like, okay, well, maybe they redid the order, and she has the order and everything to sort, because I was able to see her on that, go directly there and pick it up. But lo and behold, she actually ended up picking up an order for, somebody else that was directly in the area. But yet I guess the app was doing whatever, because it's been doing like this whole circle jerk with trying to send, other drivers to pick up the order. So then when she got close, I sat up there and called her, and I was like, "Hey, do you got a, order for such and such, directly from Wingstop?" She was like, "Yeah," but she was like, the app or whatever is basically telling her that she forgot something. So she was like, "I'll be back in 5 minutes," directly with it. I was like, "Okay, cool." But then at the same time, I'm like, she's not on, the app either, because she got done delivering, that other order or whatever. I'm like, I hope this didn't happen again. So then, lo and behold, she ended up actually going to the Wingstop, being an honest person. She went directly to the Wingstop, and I heard the person in the background, because I think she put it on speaker, the exact same worker that I called, or one of them, that I spoke to. He was the one that was directly in the background speaking. So we were conversing back and forth along with the Uber driver, and she was saying how crazy that was, along with the white dude. He said the exact same thing. He was like, "Hey, this happens, pretty frequently. I'm not too surprised, and all this, other type of stuff." She said that she was going to sit up there and call. Think she was going to, be on her second call, because I guess they got a line that they can use, that they can directly get in contact with Uber. But yet, if you're a customer, you got to go through the app, which is 1,000% stupid. This is why I like stuff being based in America, or at least having some type of basis in the United States, so that we got American workers here that can, pick up the calls and do this and do that and all this other type of stuff. Um, but yeah, long story short, that order is gone. So I am now in the process of about to go to the station and file a report, and do it that way. Like I said, moving the whole thing. Like, yo, it's crazy out here that you got like women out here acting this homeless, dog. Like, you that broken poor as a woman, that you got to sit up there and steal somebody's like order, brother. Like, what? Like, I ain't never seen this. I ain't never seen this before in my life, dog. 50 some odd dollar order gone. Gone. Shan was like, ew, Wingstop. Well, I like the voodoo fries are pretty nice. It was the voodoo fries, and I was going for a chicken sandwich combo thing that they had going with the corn. I don't eat everything at Wingstop. It's just, very, certain things. But, like I said before, it's crazy to sit up there and just like steal somebody order like that, as if like you're just broken poor. Like, yo, realistically, the way I'm feeling, it's like, I'm not even gonna say that, but it'd be great if she could be like in jail or something, a mug shot or something, like, because that's crazy. I like to be that comfortable and to be that bold, and you're using the Uber app to sit up there and steal people's orders, knowing that all of your information, that's wild. And the other thing I want to let people know as well too is that person's information is not like if you want to go back to see who quote unquote got the order. I don't know how she did it, but she knocked herself off the app in such a way that it did not even record her. In a sense, it again it said like, hey, such and such got the order, but because she knocked herself off or whatever hacks that she got that messed around with the system, it doesn't even have that recorded. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's like the amount of angry that I am at this moment in time. Like, man, I've never wanted to see like bricks like fly through like somebody's car. It's like yo, I'm just so mad because this ain't the first time that this has happened. Like I've had this happen before where I had like a $40 order of a Domino's, right? The black box. And if anybody ever had Domino's with the black box, you got your name and everything directly on there. So technically, you can't mistake that order for yours. Literally has some folks, the delivery driver got mixed up with the directions or whatever, with the versus the apartment number mixed with the actual building number, and because of that, they delivered it directly to the wrong number. Kid you not, the family that was there answered the door and they took that food and they ate it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, how do you do this? Like, how broke? Like the amount, because and I know where they live, you know. And I know exactly what, and it's like, how broke do you have to sit up there? It's like this is why I understand why people like they sit up there and just like be raging out and stuff just be happening. Because it's like it's crazy that you want to go about things the right way and everything. And it's like at the end of the day, things don't get fixed. Things don't get fixed. And you just gotta sit there with that. So you got all the people out here sitting up there dealing with doing the wrong things and profiting, and then you just like sitting here, you just gotta take that L. Like that's wild to me. Somebody said no refund. Nope. At this point in time, not at all. Let me sit up there and tell you, not at all. Let me see, because it should be still open. Yep. To report a serious incident with a delivery person, that bad boy is still open. And I sent them the information that they needed. I even gave them the small little chat log that popped directly up where I was talking to the other Uber delivery driver that was trying to help me out with the whole situation and whatnot. Like I said, nothing. The most that they did, they was like, "All right, we got you. We're going to give you the tip back, brother. I don't even care about the tip. Give me back the rest of my money. I ain't getting nothing. I ain't getting nothing. Like I said, luckily because of like I'm hungry and I'm mad. I think I'm calm at this moment because I know there's like a lot of stuff I want to say and there's a lot like I just really want to go off right now, but I know I got to sit up there and talk to police and try to see what they can do. Um, because we also got the video from the Wingstop. Gotta go sit up there and get that at a point and try to see what they say. Even though I did sit up there and call the police and I didn't really get nothing at all. Like I'm like it's just L's all around, dog. It's L's. It is the house of L's. Let me tell you something. This is annoying. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. Let me tell you. So again, as a person that's been robbed of his Wingstop Uber delivery, Uber Eats does not have a number that you can call. So if you call that number, if you type in Uber support and you call that number, they're going to promptly tell you on a recording that we fixed up our app and yada yada yada. So if you want to fix anything, go directly through our app and go to support and go to help and da 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 da. That's what they're going to do. You're not even going to get an AI voice to talk back and forth and argue with on the phone. You're not even going to get nobody that's directly from India on the phone to sit up there and speak to and argue with and try to be lost in translation. Nope, you got to go directly through the silence of an app. Silence of an app. And even when it deals with the police are like, yeah, really can't do anything because you gotta, go through the Uber app and yada 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 and all this other. I'm like, I'm like, what's the use of depending on police? I'm like this. I'm like, what's even the use? I'm like, what's even the use? What's the use? It's L's just like everywhere. I'm like, this just don't make no sense. Just losses. It's just ridiculous. Savage, like, you can dispute charges if a car was used. Yeah, but I'm trying to wait for what's the name, because if I go through the whole process, with the card, I'm not trying to, because sometimes they'll be like, hey, okay, well, if that did happen, then what we could do is, replace your car. I'm not trying to do that. And then I'm not also trying to deal with trying to listen very intensely on the phone to try to dissect the English of what somebody is speaking, because they have a very heavy accent. Because 9 times out of 10, I usually get people that are from India directly on the phone, and that one is a little bit tough. And technically, I don't really have patience right now. I'm actually quite angry, so I'm doing very well to manage myself. So I would have to very much try to refrain from not getting aggravated so quickly because my patience is very thin. It's just- it is very thin. It's like, man, if I even sent like since like the hint of like an attitude, it's like I might potentially go off. I'm like, I don't got time. It's just like, and I'm not trying to do that. And nor am I trying to, go off on people that are like undeserving of it. So, like I said, I'm trying to let things kind of like, subside and go about it that way. You know. It's tough out here. It is 1,000% tough out here. Let me tell you. Shem was like, I'm thinking of making Cajun egg rolls with dinner tonight. It's cold blooded. Cold blooded. Shem was like, oh, Seji, you can't have your Cajun fries or your Cajun corn. I'm thinking about making Cajun egg rolls. That's some wow. That's cold blooded. That 100% is cold blooded directly out here. Um, what is it? Yo, what is up, Pretty Bear? What's going on? You said FedEx driver stole my wig, and FedEx said I was lying even when I sent pictures, and that's when I said I would never buy a wig again. That's crazy. And the pending too, I know that probably was, maybe a few hundred, if not up dollars, dealing with that. Like I said, that's tough. That's 100% tough. But the positive is she was like, hey, all right, y'all robbed me once, you ain't get me again. Natural hair movement for the win. He was like, I ain't never seen me again. FedEx is bad permanently. You and your workers. Like I said, man, it's so like, man, oh my God. Oh my goodness. The way in which I'm not even going to use the other word, the way in which I and like I said, I'm trying to safeguard myself. The way in which I severely, heavily dislike the person who stole my food right now, let me tell you, if I could write a horror story or some I'm so mad. Like I said, and the crazy part is, like, I usually, like I told y'all before, when it deals with Uber and stuff, like I usually, tip pretty well because folks, they go there, they deliver the food, and bring it directly there and everything. And like I said, I appreciate that. But it's like when you get robbed of what it is, and then you haven't even still gotten reimbursed directly for it, it leaves a very sour taste. It leaves a very, very sour taste. in your mouth, and it starts to affect a lot of things. And now you got to just start looking at everybody sideways. So now, instead of just having the tip up there, it might just be zero. And then when I happen to see the person, it might just be like $1. But then when the person, gets here, I'm like, all right, you delivered it, ain't nothing missing. Like, all right, let me, give you a decent tip now. Like I said, it's great. And that's why I sit up there and tell people, like, yo, you'll have folks up here that'll sit up there and mess it up for everybody else. And this is exactly what I be talking about, man. This is exactly what I be talking about. It's like people still don't be getting it, still don't be understanding it. Like, it's wild. Shan was like, LOL, do you know how much black/Asian fusion food I make? I think quite a bit from what you've told us on the live stream, I think. Fruity Bear said, yep. My mama said that's what you get. Your hair is already long. LOL. Man. Oh yeah, so you ain't even need that though. I mean, I would never wish for somebody to sit up there and like get robbed or have their stuff missing. But it's like you ain't even need it. Your mom says your hair was already, yeah, you ain't even need that. He was probably going for like a ultra like bust down that's to like the back of the kneecaps or something. Going for like the Super Saiyan 3. Like I said, people Dragon Ball Z fans, you everybody know the Super Saiyan 3 hair length. It's very long, very long, very long. D Love said she will get it back. Someone will take from her. Yeah, probably so. That's not what I was in a sense, very much thinking. My mind was far off when it dealt with that woman, picking up the order and then like disappearing off like I said, that woman pulled a David Copperfield. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. She was David Blaine. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this really happened to me. Oh boy, let me tell you something. Like I said, the woman she was non-black. But on top of sitting up there, going directly to the police, there's one more, there's one more group of people. If I can happen to get that information, then I'm calling. Let me tell you, I will. Oh boy, I'm so dead serious. I'm so dead serious. Ooh, some folks, some government folks will be getting called. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. And I ain't gonna feel bad for it. Not gonna feel bad for it because you shouldn't be stealing. You should not be sitting up here working for a delivery service and stealing people's food. That is ridiculous. You cannot be that poor and broke as a woman to be doing like that's wild. That is wild. And the crazy part, like I said, I don't even care if it wasn't her. Maybe it was like her evil sister. I don't care. Lock them both up. They both the same to me. Lock them both up. Y'all both thieves. Y'all got the same bloodline. Lock them up. If one did it, the other one was thinking it. Like I said, lock them both up. Like that is wild work. Ty was like, "Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?" That's crazy. What was it? Triumph Boxing, what is up? You said that's why I don't use Uber Eats or DoorDash. The craziest part is I've never had this issue with DoorDash. This is my first time. First time that this has actually happened. Now, I'm talking about Uber Eats, my bad. Uber Eats, the first time ever happening. When it deals with DoorDash, or they used to have like Eat 23 or whatnot or whatever. Yeah, it was that whole app was like shiesty. It was on like some weird type of stuff. Dealing with that, it was real weird. Because like I said, it's like the quality of drivers be iffy. Especially during that time. That was like back during like the pandemic and everything of the sort. And even maybe like a little bit after, like it was just it was weird, real iffy, highly questionable. And that's when you will start to get a lot of stories about folks being weird, being DoorDash drivers. Like you might have some like with Uber, but you would have a lot dealing with Eat 23 and DoorDash and stuff like that. Graham said, Mr. Krabs. That's wild. Fruity Bear said her baby daddy gonna cheat on her real bad, don't worry. Like I just like that so badly, man. Like, how do you just still like I said before, I just never understood. Like I never understood. Like I said, I get it if you guys somebody that's like destitute, they're on like the streets and they took like a loaf of bread or some vegetables or an apple or something, like I get that one, right? I understand the circumstances, but you an ordinary average person, you got a car and everything of the sort, you got your faculties together, more than likely got a house and apartment. It's like stealing somebody's food. Like I can eat as if I'm obese, but I would never sit up there and steal somebody's food. I can be a delivery driver and be as hungry as all get out, but I would never steal somebody's food. I would never do that because it doesn't make any type of sense. Doesn't make any type of sense. But woo, it's crazy. That is wild. Sham said, yeah, I never order from places that don't sell their drinks in bags because the workers do nasty stuff to the food. Oh, Sham, you didn't see that video that I posted that I posted before where um a black guy went directly to Popeyes and one of the workers there was like basically choking chickens, quote unquote. And there was a condom that was packaged directly with one of the pieces of his chicken. And brother Quano X, he was like, yeah, going to this Popeyes, you're gonna have to have, a my chart. You're gonna be eating chicken, you don't know if you gotta spit or swallow. like it's not funny because it's bad that it happens to that dude, but it's like when they be saying stuff, it's crazy. It's like it is wild. Like the jokes that they were sitting up there making at Popeyes was crazy. It was funny though. It was funny. I'm not sure if the dude was really laughing about it or not, but it was funny stuff. But like I said, it's crazy out here. It is 1,000% crazy. Like I said, I hope that the black dude who ended up biting that chicken, I hope that every single test that he has comes back 1,000%. I hope he has nothing. Hope he has nothing. And like I said, I gave y'all videos before when it dealt with a woman in Jamaica where she went there and called like HIV, and in order for her to realize what it is that she had to go get a spinal tap. And they had to pull fluid from the spine to basically let her know, like, all right, you got HIV. Now we got to put you on this medication. And this is the reason that you were always like sick and all this other type of, like I said, I'm hoping that that black man has nothing. Because like I said, what women out there are going to sit up there and believe a guy when he sit up there and says like, yo, the reason I got infected with X, Y, and Z is because I bit into some chicken and this is what happened. Ain't gonna be no women that's gonna sit up there and believe that. Let alone like if he's in like a relationship or engaged, like that could very easily destroy his relationship in any future relationships. Like I said, that is wild. Hack was like, yeah, I saw that video. It was gross. Yeah, it was. Fruity Bear said, LOL, that was in Houston, LOL, and I know exactly where it is. Hopefully that place gets shut down. Like I said, I want all of those workers in jail, fired, just finito, just up out of there. Like I said, because for me, I'm like, y'all was all in on it. Because I'm like, I know some of y'all was there during that shift and y'all knew what this dude was sitting up here doing. Like, you're not going to sit up here and tell me that somehow, some way that dude was able to hide a condom and then magically wrap it around or place it inside some chicken and then fry it. And nobody saw nothing. Yeah, okay. All right. Shout out to Duffy Man for the 100 jewels. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Yeah, like I said, it's just wild out here, man. Be careful with those orders, man. You got thieves afoot. Let me tell you something. You 1,000% got thieves afoot. Thieves afoot. I do. Let me see. I do have potentially. Nope, can't upload that video. Can't do that. That'll be a mistake. Also, I will be giving you guys a video dealing with the whole situation where you got all of these bi dudes out there talking about, street black women are homophobic because they don't want to sit up there and date bisexual. I got multiple videos directly on that. And the foolishness that you hear from like a lot of these dudes out here is crazy. And I'm like, realistically, I'm like, this is what people be talking about. You're trying to like force like whatever it is directly on these women. You're trying to make them accept it. And it's like they got a choice and they got a preference. How are you trying to sit up there and use like, oh, you're just homophobic. So you're trying to use all of this stuff in order to get them to basically be with you. And it's like they don't want to. I even have a do I still have that clip? Let's see, desktop. Let me see, all files. Let me see if I can actually find it uh real quick. Yeah, so talking about this subject. So again, this is dealing with the aspect of your brother's having trouble sharing. You gotta be kidding me. So I don't let me see, go to image. Yeah. Or did I do it incorrectly? Okay, there we go. So remember, this is dealing with the whole conversation that women were basically having about the dudes being bisexual and all this other type of stuff. So the woman at the top, she said her ex-husband was or is bi and wait, hold on, let me get the larger version. Because this one I'm not gonna be able to see that properly. Let me just do that for myself here. All right. So the lady up top, she said her ex-husband was slash is bi and she was coerced into not caring, even though that's not what she wanted. She said that he put hands on me. He went after his own kids, and basically meaning after means crimes against kids. He almost took her life and almost took the life of her friend post divorce. The time around, I sought only straight men because that was always my preference because sexuality is important to me and important in a partner. Trying to further pick me apart and continuously asking, quote, why though isn't going to change the answer. She was making a response to the comment at the very bottom where another lady, she said, so why do you guys want to date straight men specifically when they quote unquote give us the most STDs, take the lives of their families, and domestically violent towards us at a high rate, and are the number one unalivers? Why are they still a preferred option to you over a man who is over a man by me, wait, okay, they said man, I guess a man who is by with those stats or something like that. um Again, they want to use the negative in order to state that this is every single straight man directly about there. And notice how the guys who are bi, they want to make it seem like they are completely separate. They're not males. They want to make it completely a separate thing. And I'm like, nah, that's not how that works, chief. I didn't seen dudes who are bi and I didn't seen gay guys get directly into women's faces and feel comfortable enough to sit up there and do that and also fight them. Like I said, I got a video of Tasha K, and she was talking to somebody who's of the community, and that person wants to get enraged and angry, and they started moving closer and closer to Tasha K. Because I'm like, you acting real aggressive. I'm like, that's not real woman like. Like you acting real aggressive, you getting real close to a woman for no reason, like you about to start sitting up there swinging her. I'm like, dog, what you doing? I'm like, you just need to sit down and calm down, just move around. You're doing way too much. But like I said, have these folks out here tell it. Every single straight man out here is the villain, and the ones that are part of the LGBT who are bi and or gay men, they're the angels. They don't do nothing wrong. It's like I said, it's crazy how you got folks out here trying to force that on folks. Don't make no sense. And that does not make no type of sense at all. And like I said, the takes that I've automatically like seen and how people are trying to like justify it or use the tactic of trying to call straight women homophobic in order to like press them in order to be with those guys. I'm like, that don't make no sense. I'm like, dog, if a woman is sitting up saying that she just wants to be with like a straight man, there should be no ifs, ands, or buts. Like I said, that like I'm not about to sit up there and argue with a woman who says that she's bi, but she's more into women. I'm not about to argue her down and be like, yo, but maybe you should just, give me a chance. Like I'm different, I'm come from a different cloth. And I'm not about to. I'm looking like a straight fool. I'm not about to try to switch up a purpose. It makes no sense. I'm not about to sit up there and and do none of that. And then the craziest part is I got videos where some women were highlighting the comments where you had dudes out there that are bi, and they were like, "Well, y'all gonna be the reason that we just gonna be DL and we just ain't gonna tell y'all." I'm like, so you're willing, knowing the fact that you're into both, knowing the fact in a lot of cases of which I have discussed and covered on this platform, that in a lot of instances you have gay guys or bisexual guys that don't like to use protection. They like to sit up there and raw dog it and all this other type of stuff, knowing the fact that they're dealing with people who are both male and female. You're willing to sit up there and risk potentially infecting somebody else, doing all of this because you want them to be with you, but they're not comfortable being with you because you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. I'm a little bit. I'm just. This ain't it. This ain't it. Like that's crazy to me. That is a thousand. Like the moment in time, for me, right? And this is just my perspective. The moment in time that folks start saying like stupid, ignorant, and dangerous stuff like that online, I'm like, this is when you need to might as well have the government involved, because I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, you basically you're a threat now. You are a threat. Like you're going to, in a sense, instead of being open about whatever it is, now you're going to try to force it. Now you're just going to try to do anything that you can just to sit up there and do it. I'm like, and that's very dangerous to sit up there and do, because that shows that you don't, let alone you don't care about yourself. You also are not going to sit up there and care about your partner. Like that's very dangerous. That is very, very dangerous. And like I said, and you got so many folks out here that say that they're on the sides of women and that they're there to protect women, that they're better than a straight man. It's like, no, it's like realistically, if you want to sit up there and be real, it's like, no, you just as bad, if not worse now. It's like, yep, you got straight dudes out here that statistically speaking, that do a lot of horrendous stuff, but you sitting up there holding what your sexuality is, what your preference specifically is, and trying to force that, or trying to have like a woman be with you and you're trying to keep that that's crazy. That is insane. That is wild to me. And then to say that open, like I said, I wish when people want to say that online, I wish people would say it with a full chest and they'll actually have a picture and an image out there. I wish they would actually do a video and do that. If you really about that life, if you really that brave, put your face out there when you sit up there and write those comments. But they're not going to sit up there and do it. Because the craziest thing is you got a lot of those dudes who want to write directly to those straight women. They want to sit up there and tell the world that they're bi online, but then when it deals with actual society, they don't want to be loud and proud about it. That don't make no sense. It's like you yourself are not even fully comfortable with who it is that you are. It's like I'm highly confused. Like I said before, I knew a young dude. I remember like back in high school, never forget the dude. He was about probably like 5'2". No, probably a little bit shorter. I don't know his full name, but his nickname there with the girls called him was Jack. He was the most flamboyant, happiest gay teenager I ever seen in my life. Like every time you would have thought seeing him, he was walking through walking and skipping through a field of daisies every single day. Like I don't think I ever seen a day that he was like unhappy. And I'm like, yo, and anytime that I happen to like envision folks out here talking about like they're proud and they're all this other type of stuff when it deals with them being gay, I automatically like that's the image that I automatically see, because he did not care at all. And because he didn't care, everybody else was like, hey, that's just, it's Jack. It's whatever it is. Like he wasn't dealing with nobody picking on him. And if they did, he would automatically fire back in such a rapid succession that you would not have anything to say. You would just be looking deaf, dumb, and stupid. Or at the point you might even have to sit up there and laugh, because it's like, what are you going to sit up there and say? Nothing. Right. But again, that was just that point in time. So now when you look at 2026, you don't see people rolling out there like that. all of the pride that people sit up there and say that they have, like I don't see it the same way that he had it. And like I said, that's a teenager. You know how difficult it is to sit up there and be moving like that as a teenager instead of a young black teenager during that time in high school. You know how tough that is. But then you got grown adults out here that can't even move out there like that. And I'm like, all right. All right. Like I said, that's crazy. But like I said, so much for people being prideful and everything of the sort. You know? Oh, that's true. Slick Tom said women who date other women are always in DV. Yeah. I've given those stats as well too. I've given those stats as well too. Like I said, I've seen some things in my day of lesbian women getting into some very heated conversations. Alcohol is involved, and people start shoving and some hands. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but like I said before, women never talk about that. You don't even have those who are a part of the gay community bringing it up. What normally tends to happen is that people always focus on stats when it deals with straight men. I'm like, straight men don't got nothing to do with the violence that happens in the gay community amongst gay people in the gay community. But I'm like, that stuff does not get highlighted, and that's exactly why I highlighted it directly on this platform multiple times. Because I'm like, dog, if we really gonna have a conversation, it's like, all right, cool, we can talk about all of the negative things that men directly do within all of these communities around the world. All right, cool, fine. But also, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We should also talk about and care about all of the situations that don't get highlighted and talked about, especially by those who are part of the LGBT, which is all of these negative stats about people no longer existing, right? Because they're mentally unhappy, mentally unstable, not fully there because they're not even accepting directly of themselves. The type of violence that directly happens when one person, specifically dealing with the men, one person is out, but the other person is not fully out yet, but the person that's fully out wants to automatically out the other person. People don't want to sit up there and bring up and talk about that, but they always talk about straight men and how they're dangerous and this, that, and the third. But I've covered countless stories where people in the LGBT will sit up there and out another gay person that is not ready to be out yet. But then they're the main ones sitting up here telling people, oh, you need to be respectful of other people's time. If they're not ready to be out and to be proud to be gay, then that's their thing. They're going to have their own time. But yet I done seen countless stories, and they've been tragic stories of which I've covered. I've especially covered teenagers where somebody who was open and outwardly gay, the other person that they were dealing with was not ready to sit up there and make that move yet. And because that other person was not ready to make that move, they got back at that other person who wanted to specifically out them. It don't matter if it was like some Facebook or whatever social media was. And then you also got the DV violence when it happens with lesbians and everything in the sort. Like I said, it's crazy out here. It's crazy. Fruity Bear said, did you hear how gay men are telling other gay men to not talk or out DL men anymore? Like I said, it's a very dangerous situation when people are not being directly honest with the people that they're dating. And I've said that directly to folks who are in the gay community. Like that's dangerous for them as well too, because just as well as guys can sit up there and pass STDs on to other people, you got women that can pass STDs out there to men. And if that dude is bi, then he's going to pass that same thing on to another man or the other partners that he's sitting up there doing. Like I said, everybody loses because you got folks out here that want to be selfish. They want to sit up there and only be specifically for themselves, and they don't care what the cost is. They don't care how that affects anybody else or what that specifically comes directly with. Like I said, it's crazy out here. But like I said, in a lot of cases, when you want to bring this up and talk about it, people want to sit up there and say that you're trying to talk negative or bad about the gay community or you being homophobic or this, that. No, it ain't none of that. Like I said, if we can easily talk about the straight community, right? And the negativity that is specifically there and everything of that sort, then we can do that for every other community directly out there. Like I said, no stone is unturned. Nobody is untouchable here. And like I said, trying to sit up there and call people homophobic and all this other type of stuff, it's not going to sit up there and work. Like I said, that dried up a while ago. That dried up a very long time ago. So like I said, people gonna have to sit up there and come back with something else. They're gonna have to try something new. Cave says studs are more aggressive than guys. Yeah, I got a video. I can't put it up because there's I would have to, blur 95% of the video. Like I said, I might post it in Discord, but I got a video of a stud on a train, and supposedly what ended up happening is that the film, basically the woman of the relationship, was, I guess, supposedly going to leave the lesbian relationship and be with a man. And the stud wasn't having it. She started mollywhopping that woman all throughout the train. Mollywhopping. And there was women sitting there and they didn't do anything to stop it. They did not intervene. Like, that's the craziest thing that I've seen, right? Women are not so much afraid of intervening if they happen to see a dude putting hands on a woman. But women have a fear when you have two women fight. You do not see women trying to like run up and just break up a fight. They're not trying to body block. They're not trying to shield. They're not sitting up there screaming and screeching. Oh my God, look at what you're doing to them. Oh my God, stop them. You don't get none of that. It's all silence. And like I said, I looked at all of the women on that train and they just stopped and stared. Shout out to One Republic. But that's exactly what those women were sitting up there doing. They were stopping and staring at that situation. They did not utter a peep. Matter of fact, they didn't even pick up a cell phone to record. That's the craziest part. They took no actions. They basically acted like it was not happening. They were Sandra Bullock, girl, boy, boy, girl. And I'm like, wow. They watched that lesbian couple fight, and the woman of the relationship, she couldn't even sit up there and fight back because of how aggressive the stud was. And the stud beat her on the train, beat her off the train, and when she was trying to get off of the train, pulled her by her braids back onto the train and still sat up there and kept beating her. Was like, yeah, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't leaving me. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's crazy. That is wild. I'm like, I guess, so much for that sisterhood. So much for women caring about the well-being of other women. But like I said, women don't really care up until a man is there. Now, if it was a man sitting up there mollywhopping that woman, oh yeah, those women would have got up. They would have been screeching. They would have been doing this. I'm about to call 911. They would have been banging on glass doors like somebody help and doing all this. And then the guys that were there, they would have been, putting on their capes. They would have found their super suits. They would have had their power rings. When the twin powers activate, they would have did all of that. But like I said, when it deals with a woman fighting another woman, and it's a lesbian couple, nothing. Crazy work. Like I said, it's very interesting how selective people are about caring about women and the violence that happens to women. Crazy how that happens. It's diabolical in nature. Just like I've covered stories before where you've had gay guys deciding that they wanted to put hands directly on women. And I'm like, it's very interesting how if it was a straight male fighting a woman, the women there would have all tag team and been trying to fight that dude. They would have been getting all types of objects and all this other type of stuff. But then when I watch videos of gay dudes sitting up there fighting straight women, magically it's a one-on-one, and it's going to be a losing one-on-one every single time. Every single time I've watched those fights, it's always a losing one-on-one. And then the craziest part is I never hear those women sit up there and talk about, I'm about to get my brother. I'm about to get my I'm about to get my father. I got something for. I never hear that. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, that's crazy. So I'm like, okay, so when they put hands on you, it ain't no type of threats. It ain't no type of get back. You ain't about to, call Big Bruce that was, serving time for like 99 years for like 29 murders. You're not going to sit up there and call like none of those thugs and gang members that right? When it deals with somebody from the gay community. But if it's a straight dude doing it, which is still a man at the end of the day, now it's now everybody's Lois Lane. Nobody knows how to sit up there and fight or fight back. Everybody's innocent. Everybody's just like squawking and crying and filming. I can't believe this is happening. And I'm all right. Okay. That's crazy work. And just like Caveman said, those videos never go viral. And that's facts. That's facts. Because everybody's like, well, if it's not a a straight black man that did it, we don't care. And that's 100% facts. I wish somebody would prove me wrong. I wish somebody would prove me wrong, because you're not going to see anybody online talking about the statistics of men in the LGBT attacking women, and they feel comfortable doing it. That's the wild part. They feel ultra comfortable sitting up. The amount of comfortability that they have doing it is wild. But magically, notice how nobody has stats on that. We know that videos exist. We can obviously look at those videos. We've probably seen them, over time. But magically, nobody has those stats. But again, if it's a straight male, specifically a straight black male, oh, they got all the stats. It was because his father wasn't there. He hates his mother. He's a colorist. He hates black women. He hates himself. They can give you all Stockholm syndrome. Willie Lynch. They can list you all of those things when it deals with straight black men and why it is that they doing this. But when it deals with other men doing this, they got nothing. Magically, all of that information is gone. Nobody has a college education, a high school degree. Nobody's murder she wrote. They don't know how to research or look anything up. No type of detective work. Nobody's the world's finest. It's crazy how that works. But like I said, these are all the same people that sit up there and say that they care about the danger that women are in. They care about the stats. They care about how women are negatively affected by men and all the negative and important things that men basically do. But they only care about it, like I said before, when it's straight men, but more specifically, straight black men. Like I said, I want somebody to prove me wrong. Show me 9,999 videos where people are giving all of these stats and all these other types of things about the men of these other who's a part of the LGBT that be going out there attacking women. Show me those videos. You won't. But we can all go online and see everybody talking about straight black men doing something. Like I said, selective outrage. 1,000%. But when you call this out, people want to sit up there and say that you're being a what is it, misogynist or whatnot, whatever. You're anti, woman. You're trying to deflect, and you don't really actually care the femicide rates. And like I said, it's wild. It's wild. But it be like that. And this is why I sat up there and said before, like, this is why I miss me with the whole equality stuff and whatever it is that people are sitting up there talking, because people don't really actually want it to be. They talk a great game. They are not about anything being equal, no type of equality. Folks just want to go out there and cherry pick, and they want to make sure they cherry pick to the point where they can pedestalize themselves and be the only champion, the only winner, and the only victim at the same time. They're not actually about, trying to find a solution or fix anything that is specifically happening. Because if we're talking about, women being horribly and negative affected by men, then it should be talking about all men. But people ain't doing that, because they ain't about that life. Because the main thing that both parties have in common is that they hate straight men, but more specifically, straight black men. So even though they have their disagreements, they have their arguments, they have their spats, they have their fights, they'll be like, hey, we still got a common enemy, straight black men. No matter what happens, we always got to stay on the same page. Straight black men are the enemy. And that's what they do. Crazy work, though. Crazy work. But like I said, I'm for equality. I'm waiting, like I said, every single time. Don't let me sit up there and catch a fight of two women in a lesbian relationship fighting outside. I'm stopping and staring. I'm enjoying the sight. That's exactly what I'm going to sit up there and do, because I'm waiting for women out there to be the Captain Saver and jump directly up in there and break that up. That's what I'm waiting for. And like I said, I'll be waiting for like the third coming of Christ. I will probably sit up there and see, biblical fires and floods before I'll sit up there and see that happen on a continuous basis. Like I said, crazy work, man. It's crazy work. Crazy work. what was it? Slickback Tom said, not just straight black men, but the good straight black men. I mean, that's the same thing though. Like like usually when I'm talking about the straight black, I'm not talking about folks out there that's doing like negative stuff in the community and and everything and whatnot. Like I said, I like to separate. It's like I said, I like to separate in a lot of instances and everything. But I get what you're saying though. He was like, not just straight black men, but the good straight black men that really look out for the other people in the community and the family and friends. But yeah, like I said before, in a lot of instances in videos that I covered, those black men are the exact same ones that end up losing their lives every single time. Like I said, I covered a video of a father. He went there and tried to deal with an abusive boyfriend that was putting hands on his daughter in a hotel room because she called her dad to come deal with the situation that she specifically put herself in, and she got her father killed. And now she got to live with that. And now, if another instance of her, like I said, I don't even remember her face, but if another instance of her pops up and the same exact thing is sitting up there happening, I promise you're gonna have black women online be like, see, this is what we talking about. If black men were here to sit up there and protect, their daughters from these guys out here, then this wouldn't actually happen to this young black girl. I feel so sorry for her. But little do you know that she sat up there and sacrificed her daughter. I mean, she sacrificed her father. He's no longer here because she put herself into an abusive relationship with a dude that she had no business sitting up there being with. So because she couldn't get herself out of that situation and she wanted some justice, she threw her father onto the altar and he burned for it to never be seen ever again. And I'm like, well, it'd be like that. But like I said before, do you think that women online are going to sit up there and champion that father? They're going to put him on a t-shirt. Always remember him. Hashtag as one of the great black. Nope, they don't care. You know who lives in infamy? That those women will sit up there and always quote unquote cheer about and talk about the one that she was in a relationship with. They will remember his name. They'll remember every single part of the story or the police report of everything that he did, but they can never tell you who the father is that sat up there and protected his daughter or tried to and died doing it. And people are like, and people wonder why you don't have black men out here trying to risk their lives and save women out here. That's why. Because it's like, you sitting up here thinking, like, what's the use? You're going to be forgotten forever. The same women that normally be talking bad about men, they are not going to remember your name. It is not going to be written down in history for other people to basically see and to remember and to try to, model themselves directly after. And all. Ain't none of that happening. You are going to be forgotten forever. The only person that's ever going to be remembered is the person that she was in a relationship with that was beating her down, putting hands and feet directly upon her. Broke her ribs a few times, put her up in the hospital, gave her a broken orbital, concussion. Like I said, I see it all the time, especially on X, when a lot of women want to sit up there and talk negative about men, especially straight black men. Every single time, they can always tell you all of the horrible and horrendous black men and every single detail of all the stuff that they've done, but they can never tell you stories about positive black men who have risked their lives, saved black women, daughters, or any of that sort. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter. They don't care. It doesn't fit the narrative. They can't use it to justify, some type of a logical point. Can't do it. It's crazy. And that's why I sat up there and made sure during a certain time that I try to cover as many stories as possible with either fathers or brothers or sons, that tried to sit up there and do the right thing, but they ended up paying for it and they lost. And that's when I sit up there and say, so now that those sons or those brothers or fathers, whoever, are no longer here, now who's going to sit up there and step up to do it? Do you think that those women that normally talk about men negatively, they're going to offer the men of their family that they find to be important to share those with other women so that they can be protected? No, they're not. I've never seen it happen. Out of all of the times that you've had black men risk their lives in order to sit up there and save somebody, I've never seen those women pull up to the scene and say that, yo, I offer my father or my brother or my son as a substitute to give you some protection since you lost yours. I've never seen it, and you never will. You especially will never see any of those women offer up their sons to protect any of these women up out here that they say that they care so much about. Ain't that odd? Ain't that a little bit strange? You care about the lives of black women out here, but you got about 3 to 4 sons, and yet at the same time, you hate black men, but you love your sons, but you know the fact that black women are not really protected out here, as you quote unquote say, but you're not going to offer up your sons that you know are, pretty good. They're strong. They can fend for themselves. They probably defended you quite a few times. You're not going to offer up your sons to sit up there and defend all these other black women out here. So this is why I keep sitting up there saying, how much realistically do a lot of these black women actually care about the lives of other black women? If you actually really care, you're willing to sit up there and sacrifice and share in order to make sure that everybody's protected. You wouldn't be so selfish. Like I said, it'd be like that. And this is the reason why you have a lot of black men out here right now sitting up there saying, we're going to stay out of this situation. If we see anything happening, we're not doing nothing. It's only the people that we're close directly with. And then black men get the pushback, like, no, that's wrong. How are you going to sit up there and do that? Your mom is black, your sister is black. Yeah, and those black men, they got them covered. So why do they have to add more to the plate of which that they're not even a part of? Like, that doesn't even make any type of sense. Doesn't make any type of sense. You want another black woman to basically offer up their sons or whatnot or whatever to protect you, but you don't want to offer up the men of your family to sit up there and protect other black women. That's crazy. Like I said, that's the selfishness I'll be talking about. But again, that's a whole nother topic that folks don't want to go into. And the fact that a lot of folks out here think that they are deserving of protection. Like I said, you got so many people that put themselves into situations that they could have been walked out of, but they want to make so many excuses on why they're still there in that situation. But then they want to make it somebody else's obligation to basically save them and to protect them in that situation of which they created and they allowed to happen. Like I said, it's crazy work out here, man. It's crazy work, 1000%. Shem was like, a lot of people start ish that ain't never fought a person in real life, just like drama. Yeah. Slick said they all talk like that and never had a father. And I've seen some of these women talk nasty about young black boys. Yeah. And that's why I've highlighted those videos. And when I've brought up those clips or made videos, or sometimes I put up like long compilations of it, a lot of those folks that quote unquote divestors and all these other types of folks, they be shutting up real quick. They don't be having nothing to say because they can't say nothing. Can't really sit up there and say nothing. The ones that tried to just look even more stupid, but like, well, you got to understand why they feel that way because when they were little girls, black boys made them feel that. Like I said, they be trying to bring up all of these excuses, but I'm like, so that's the reason that it's okay for these women out here to be wishing on the deceasement of black boys and men. That's a justifiable reason for them to go into these hate groups where you got these white men out there and you got these women specifically begging and pleading and asking those Caucasian men to be like, yo, we need you to do something about black men. We need you to get the situation, under control and this, that, and the third. So that gives a justification for them to sit up there and say that it is a turn on for them to sit up there and see your black nephew, your son, your grandson, or your friend's son on TV getting, taken out by the cops or brutalized. Like I said, some of the most craziest things that I hadn't heard online ever in my life. And I sat up there and like I said, I've listened to a lot of folks that are racist. I've listened to a lot of people that are racist. But by far, the things that I've heard directly from divestors have them beat. And that's crazy to say because you're dealing with a group of people that have a history in this country that have negatively affected and impacted, black Americans from past, present, and, in the future. And then you're dealing with a group that, in a sense, has been a part with black men and gone through the same trials and tribulations when it deals with slavery and everything of the sort, but then came to this one point where it's like, nah, we're not with this anymore. We've actually went through more in slavery than what black men can ever understand, even though everybody roughly, right, went through the same type of bondage, the same type of abuse and different things of that sort. The only thing that's a little bit different is the fact that women, can sit up there and get pregnant. But again, folks that can have things forced upon them, for lack of a better word, it's the same thing, right? In one instance, for women, it may have happen behind closed doors. In the other instance, when it deals with men, they'll sit up there and do this open in front of all of the slaves, and they'll have the slave master, the slave hands, and then other people from another plantation come directly over and partake directly in the festivities. But even with explaining that, and knowing that history and everything that came directly with it, you still got these folks directly up here that's quote unquote a part of the black community that go directly to the quote unquote opposition and decide that they want to beg and plead for them to basically, as they say, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, handle black men or handle the problem by any means necessary. Like I said, it's crazy. That is crazy. Like I'm still trying to figure out like where are the multitude of videos of the black guys that, and like I said, for me the divestors, twirlers, and the black dudes that sit up there and say like nonsense. I put all of them in the same box, but I'm just trying to figure out because I've been on the internet for a minute. Where are all of the videos, like the hundreds of videos, where you have these black dudes out there that are begging and pleading with white women to handle the problem when it deals with black women? I'm just trying to figure that out. I'm just trying to figure out like where are those videos at because I have yet to run into those videos. I've seen some nonsense, I've seen some ignorance, I've seen some plain straight out stupidity. But that right there, I've not seen that. And again, like I said before, even if I want to see it or not, there's a lot of divestors online. And when I happen to see the content that they normally put up, I have yet to see them put up hundreds of clips like that up. But there are tons of clips of divestors talking, all types of like nonsense. Like they talking about like trying to like really get rid of people. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's wild. Slick said they only talk half of the history. That's facts. Pretty Bear said, when the divestor is gone at the hands of their preference, I really don't feel bad. Like that lady who was taken out, or the man who was also poked up a few times. Because I'm, trying to, I'm trying to use my words differently. I get what you're saying. Hack said, going to dip, take care to all. Hey, much love, respect, and appreciation. Thank you for your time. Good, sir. Sam said, I don't even know where to begin with it. I can't even fathom it. Why do that? Say, uh, what would you even benefit from that? Like I said, in their minds, they feel as though that, they can live and be completely there without, if they feel as though that if only black women exist, then the world would be a better place. I'll put it to you like this. There was a video not too long ago where the one guy from Love Island, Nick something. Let me see if I can find the video. I think I'm trying to figure out if I played it for y'all before. I might, excuse me, I might have played it for you guys before. I got so many videos up here. It's ridiculous. Let me tell you something. I got so many videos up here. It's ridiculous. Let me see. Let me try to go to earlier this week. Like I said, I got even, well, that video I for sure cannot put that up there. I got videos up there of divestors who were specifically dating white dudes. They got cheated on, and then they hurried up and ran and got a black dude to help them raise their kids. I'm like, it's wild out here. I'm like, it is wild. I'm like, you ain't never liked black dudes to begin with. Now, after your fail safe failed you, and you found out that he cheated on you with multiple women, and you got those pictures, now you want to run to a black. I'm like, wow, brother. I'm like, that's crazy. That is correct. I'm trying to find this video real quick of the guy from Love Island because both her and wait. Okay, yeah. Matter of fact, I'll just use her clip real quick because I can't find his, but they basically said the same thing. So let me just play her clip real quick.
Yearning. Like you don't really see men yearning for women in this day and age. And then with him being a fair skinned male and I'm a dark skinned female, but seeing me being loved out loud resonated with a lot of people in my community. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. Like dark skinned Black woman being yearned for and loved out loud by someone that looks like Nick. It's like, this is beautiful. Like this is like healing the world in a sense because you don't see this often, especially not in real time.
So let me just go back to that statement. She said that because she is a dark-skinned woman and Nicholas is fair. That's a white boy, but she said he's fair. She said that because of this romance, because of this relationship, it's healing the world. This is not the first time I've heard a divestor say something like this. I showcased one offline before. She looks very much crazy, and some of y'all might know who I'm talking about. She said the exact same thing. She said that white men and Black women together can basically heal and repair the world and it can fix the problems in the United States. I'm like, the type of delusion that people are directly in, I don't even understand where people get this from. I don't understand the factories where these people are produced. I've never heard foolishness like this before. I want to say, like, these are the only two groups here that will say something so ridiculous that their relationship by themselves, because they're different races, is healing the world. What? How is that stopping wars? How is that stopping famine? How is that helping people in other countries get clean water? And like, what? Like I said, she said that in real time. This is like healing the world in a sense because you often don't see it because it's going on the whole stereotype that quote unquote nobody can love or understand a darker complected woman but somebody of another race because other quote unquote darker complected men would never be with her. They could never be with her. They could never actually love her and value. Like I said, it's the exact same thing they sit up there and keep saying online. Like, this is straight foolishness. And then, the craziest part is they broke up. From everything that I was able to learn, they broke up. And that's why I gave you guys the video about a week or two ago where you had this one divestor like crashing out talking about she was about to fight people over this and that she will make sure that these two are never happy in another relationship because she only wants those two to be together. Like, this is the type of delusion that you have a lot of these women out here living directly. You're going to fight people over this fake made up relationship, over this contractual relationship, over this ready and made for TV relationship. Like I said, man, like, yo, this is why I told people the worst thing that happened during the pandemic was people getting on social media and making podcasts and doing all of this type of stuff. Because there was a lot of people out there that just did not need to be platformed. There was a lot of people that should have just stayed silent and never been heard from. Like, that is wild. That is 100% wild. But like I said, you got goofyism like this that's allowed to flourish, and you got so many women out there that want to give a justification for why it is that they're able to date out. And like I said before, it's like, yo, it realistically, a lot of Black dudes out here don't care. If you're a woman and you want to sit up, go right ahead. In a lot of instances, dudes are not going to sit up there and make it a problem, but have them tell it online. They'll be like, yeah, every time I walk out here with the guy of another race that I'm with, all of these Black men, they're giving us evil and dirty looks like they're about to do something like and this, that, and that. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, calm down. Like, ain't nobody sitting up there spotting y'all like that. They probably looking because y'all out there sitting up there looking goofy and making everything some type, y'all making what it is that y'all are an issue. Y'all making it a situation and people don't really sit up there and care. Like like I said, this stuff is annoying. And again, like I said, I bring going back to one of the comments that I had earlier. I bring stuff up like this because this is stuff that we just don't even need. Like I would have rather that like these type of subjects don't exist, so we don't have to sit up and talk about them, so that we can just talk about other stuff. Because to me, it's like, yeah, these things are a type of distraction. But the problem is that if it was only a distraction online, that'd be cool. But it's not even online; it's in the real world. So it's like it's hard. It makes it that much harder to sit up there and ignore it. And not only that, you got women like this that will sit up there and start talking to the youngest in their families, like little girls, like 8, 9, 12, and trying to tell them like, "Yo, stay away from young black boys." Like I said, I still got that video. I could probably pull that up if I wanted to. I got that audio of a grandmother coming on to black women like platform or channel where it was negatively talking about black men, and she was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing it, but I tell my young grandbaby all the time, like, you better not date none of these black boys. You better not even look their way. Go out there and date you a white boy. Go get you somebody else. Don't sit up there and be with these black." And I'm like, you sound like you got to be in your mid 50s to your 60s, and this is how you talking? You brainwashing and indoctrinating this little girl before she even has an opportunity to actually figure out things or to find out or to get to know stuff for herself. You're automatically giving false information to an impressionable child because of how it is that you feel as a woman, because of how it is that you may have been treated. Or supposedly how your girlfriends or whatever been treated from whatever stories that they sit up there and tell you. Like I said, it's wild, man. Like I said, there's been multiple instances I done sat up there and seen black women with dudes of other races. I'm like, all right, glory to the winner. Like, you got it. You know, like I said before, I pretty much don't care. I just, I mind my business. It's whatever it is. But like I said, when it's like a lot of those folks, they be having like this type of like weird look or something. Like I just don't know. Like they want to let you know like they're just very much happy where they are. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you got it. Well, like carry on. I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to make this like a silent big deal for. I'm like, it's like I said, it's crazy. I almost want to sit up there and call it a grift, but I don't know. Shem was like, better wake up to the biggest thieves in the world is more than likely want to steal something from you. What's up, third? You said I couldn't be more indifferent. Sham said when you lift him up, he's going right back to work. Yeah, I try to tell a lot of these folks that too. Like I said, I wasn't caring about like the main like divestor type that solidified, they made up their mind. I've been talking about the ones that's wavering or the ones that was contemplating. I gave them the video about like Machine Gun Kelly. That dude got a black woman pregnant, gave her a biracial child, and he never married that girl, or I don't even think he was engaged. But he ended up turning around and getting married directly to Megan Fox. And you saw how long that lasts. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And I'm like, so black women, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the divestors and the swells. I ain't gonna talk about how that black woman got left. And he basically like left her, to the side, but he made sure to pull up and marry that white woman though, Megan Fox. Wild. And then the same thing happened with Travis Kelce. That was another one that you had a lot of these divestors and whatnot swooning, directly over. They was big. I'm like, oh yeah, he's with a melanated queen, and he knows how to love her right. He this and that. Look at how he's dressed. Is so this and that. Even though she was trying to dress him like a black dude, even had him sit up there and get the haircut to the point where white folks is like, yeah, we're going to call that haircut the Travis Kelce. What? That's a fade. What are you talking about? Even he had to come out and be like, yo, white people, y'all getting ridiculous. Like, nah, this is black people, right? This don't got nothing to do with it. Let's not do this. And then Travis Kelce, he sat up there and dropped her. And not because of what people may think, but she got on social media and she was like, yo, I expected like 3 to 4 or whatever, K a month in allowance for this, that. And I'm like, dog, you a girlfriend. Why would you be getting 3 to 4K of this dude's hard earned money? He's out there putting his body through, all types of like training, all types of like brutalization in order to make the money and get the contracts that he got. Why should you, as a woman that ain't taking care of nothing but yourself, why are you owed as just sitting there silent. Why are you owed 3 to 4, 7K of that man's money? It don't make sense. Like the entitlement was ridiculous. And then she doubled down when she was talking to Angel Reese. And I'm like, yeah, this is why he left you. This is why you're not married. This is why you didn't show up at that. You weren't the one getting married at Madison Square Garden. You're the reason that he returned right back there to Taylor Swift. So he dropped a broke woman for a rich one. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. Divestors don't want to talk about that though. Don't want to talk about that. The greatest one that they got for that is probably Serena. But like I said, of recent times, yeah. And the amount of divestors that was mad at what's her face? Taylor Swift, insane. Diabolical. And I'm like, what y'all mad for? You acting like you had ownership. And it's like the way that they be talking online about these dudes is if like they own them like a Timothy Charlemagne, Jack Harlow, and all these others. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? I'm like, y'all talking wild crazy out here. I'm like, and these dudes ain't even looking at y'all. Not even in your direction. You're not even in their vicinity. Not even in a money bracket to be talking as wild as you are. I'm like, wild work. 100%. Sham was like, a ton of white men. Excuse me. You said a ton of white men got famous and rich off of black women lifting them up. Oh, yeah. Slick said he has a fade. Yep. Slick Tom said, got him a white girl. Let me see. Yo, Lucas, what is up? You said, what did you say? You said, Inso Logic, you black dudes need to get a life, bro. You said, you're not married and you're black. Your life is over, bro. Get over it. I mean, I guess. I mean, that's the best you got, though. And that's crazy. It's like, so everything I'm saying right now is like, is incel logic. That's crazy. I ain't even saying nothing bad about Travis Kelce. I'm trying to figure out how is it incel logic. I'm just a little. I'm curious. I'm a little bit confused. Doesn't even make any type of sense. What was it? Slick Tom said divestors don't even like each other. Yep. And I've seen that as well too. Like I said, and if there, like I said, there's one out there, and she stated herself that she is not socially, she wouldn't be socially considered, like attractive. And like I said, and you got divestors that are amongst the divestors that do not like those types or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, you got hierarchies all over the place. You got hierarchies all over the place. Tom said they love gassing up me and white boys. It'd be like that. Oh yeah, Kevin Federline. Yeah. He did the same thing too. Yeah. He said his jersey should be in the Raptors. Yep. Slick Tom said, "You're black." Shem was like, I put him to sleep in the shadow room. That's what happened. KO, super combo finisher. You lose. Slick Tom said, we all know white boys are the masters of incel. Yeah, that's the craziest part. I didn't know what an incel was up until white boys. I never heard nobody black in the community ever use incel growing up. I'm like, incel, like, what is that? Like, I don't even know what that is because that's not even a term or a phrase that we even use. But have other people sit up there and tell it. They'll start throwing off their terms and brandings onto other people and make them the poster child and definition of it. Slick Tom said, we all know white boys are the master. Yeah. What is it? Ooh. Carsey? Hopefully I got that. I think I might have mispronounced your name. I do apologize. Let me see. Carsey Lati. Hopefully I may be mispronouncing it again. My apologies. Shout out for the 200 joules. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Tom said those divestors think that they are white, literally. Third said, you call them white incels all the time because they are. Yeah, I'm not even sure what Williams is even talking about. It's like, I think I know what you're talking about, but because terminologies have been misconstrued and just like swapped around, I don't even know what to even say about that one. Whatever floats your boat there, Williams. Shem was like, "Don't come here with your spam." Yeah, like I said, I got moderators. They're on site, and if you happen to, start spamming and saying some nonsense, they will pack you up real quick. they, they have no tolerance, no patience. Because, like I said, in a lot of instances, I might be responding back to somebody, and people are already packing people up. I'm like, man, I talked the whole paragraph. I didn't know they left. That's crazy. D Money was like, I love that for you, Steve. Hey, man, probably out of here now. Oh, my goodness. Yo, it's crazy work out here. 100% crazy work. But yeah, man. Like I said, going back to what was it? The clowns that were on these parts right here. Like I said before, you bring up topics because you don't want them to be here no more. You want all of this to subside or fall off to the wayside or off the side of a cliff somewhere, so that the field of vision for everybody else can be clear of like nonsense and foolishness, like this. And like I said, to those in the background, they ain't never say nothing, but you feel a certain type of way about me. It be like that, and you will forever feel that exact same way. I'll make sure of it. I don't ever want you to change. I want you to stay and be exactly who you are. Like I said, be living your truth. If you dislike or hate me in my commentary, I want you to live in the truth and be directly there. I ain't trying to sit up there and flop you over, I said flop, switch you over, to the side of nothing. I don't even care. At one point, I did earlier on, you would have got me. Now it's like I don't. Like I said, I got people always sitting up here telling me they unsubscribing. Okay. What else we doing? I can tell you what I'm probably about to eat for dinner, or what game I'm about to play. I'm like, what else? What's more to the conversation? Like I said, it's crazy work out here, man. Like I said, people think that it's we living in a timeline of 5 to 6 years ago, where like some of the stuff will really sit up there and like get to people like that, where they'll be like freaking out, like, oh my god, it's gonna be a revolution, and nah, people don't care. A lot of people don't care. And also want to give a shout out to the other content creators out there that that cover all the the other stories and everything in the sort. Like I said, I got time for foolishness, so you'll see me cover a lot of stuff, because I'm like, if people want to be stupid, then we can play stupid. But like I said, shout out to the other content creators that stay focused, that got that tunnel vision, and everything of that sort. Maybe one day I'll get back up there. I'll just be purely focused, tunnel vision, not focused to worry about nothing else. But I decided to take a break. I took a side quest, took a quick detour, things like that. Third was like, the trolls need to unsubscribe from life. That's crazy. The game of life. The game of life. Some crazy work. Crazy work, man. But yeah, like I said, much love, respect, and appreciation. Originally, live stream was supposed to be a little bit lower, when it dealt with how long we were actually going to be here. Because I only really had a few videos, but conversations and me talking, directly to y'all. And this is what happens. While I'm here, I'm trying to actually see if I could have sworn it just said it was like 143 comments. Let me see. I think I might got something back, because I'm checking a previous video. Somebody said they're not children, they're little young adults, which is why both of them can have a child in the first place. A child is somebody between infancy and puberty. And you can look up that, because it is a little definition of a child. They're children in society because of the system says so, but they can easily change it to 15 if they wanted to, or back to 12 or 13, which is what the original was in the United States. Our grandparents, our ancestors did stuff like this, so I don't know why we still believe that our own government says. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they should do anything, because in today's world, at this age, we weren't taught to be responsible like in ancient world, but biologically, they are not children. I get what the person is saying when it deals with like the government, because I've covered videos like that before. I've covered videos like that before, like the ages of which that some of these young girls are getting married in the United States. Crazy, 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 crazy. Somebody said, Divine Feminine said, I'm not sure what this has to do with colorism. I thought this, like, it's crazy how I clearly state that you got divestors and others that sit up there and say that dark skinned black men or boys do not find dark skinned black women or girls attract. I know I sat up there and said that when I first started recording. I could have sworn that was in the before we get started part. I could have sworn, but I'm seeing countless comments where people are like, "What does this have to do with colorism?" Color, like, bro, yo, when I sit up there and tell y'all, there is barely a conversation that I've seen folks try to bring up colorism. Like, we could be talking about video games, colorism. We talking about models and clothing, colorism. We talk about rap and popularity, colorism. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay. So, man, it don't make sense when I sit up there and bring it up and basically point out that, hey, this young black kid here is obviously interested in this young black girl here, and they're roughly close to the same shade. It's wild work. Somebody else said I have to agree on this one with the mom. Maybe she should not have put this on video, but she knows her daughter who was disrespectful in talking to her. We know the outcome in a lot of these cases, and the mom would be the one taking care of the child and not the daughter, but the daughter and the baby and the boy would be gone afterwards. It has happened too many times before. Anyone blaming the mother on this is wrong. Where is the daughter's father? You need to ask the mother. The mother got the ratchet mouth. You need to ask the mother where the father is. Like, it's crazy why people keep saying, "Where is the father?" Go ask the mother. Like, why are you asking the person that posted? Go ask the mother if you actually care that much. How would he have handled this? And maybe he's not around. Her messaging may have been off, but she was angry at her daughter for sneaking out like that and meeting somebody online. Things could have ended up worse because we know our girls not only end up pregnant, but go missing all the time. 1 minute we say we are the parents and when kids act out, but when they discipline them, then we say, oh, they shouldn't talk to them that way. Can't have it both ways. All I'm sitting up there saying is all of the anger and hostility that the mother had towards the young dude was undeserved. He didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't do nothing like, brother, looking, I swear to goodness. Like I said, I'm hoping that all of these people that are siding directly with the mother, I hope they show up for that other video where the girl is sitting up there fighting in public. I hope they show up. I hope they're showing up. I know they won't, but I would love for them to sit up there and show up. Like I said, man, bad behavior every single time. And then on top of that, none of them, while defending the mother, they don't want to critique the mother's teachings. They're like, the girl decided it's wrong. If it's not the mother, no, it is the mother's fault. Like I said, the daughter is a reflection of the mother. The daughter is a reflection of the mother's teachings. The mother can sit up there and teach her how to be, navigate through the world of being a girl and a young girl, teenage, girl, young woman into a full-fledged. Men can't do that. We don't have that knowledge. We don't have that know-how. We don't have none of the information because we never lived or walked the life as little girls. Only women got that. So again, it's crazy to me every single time folks want to sit up there and be like, where's the father at? Ask the person who decided to lay down unprotected and have a child. Ask her, because like I said before, and I'm going to put it like this again. People keep asking where the father is. Only women, and this is a fact, only women can sit up there and tell everybody who the father is. A woman can go out here and sleep with like 10 different dudes, end up pregnant. Only she knows who the father is. Men can't do that. We can't sit up there and just like sleep with like 10 women and be like, okay, yeah, that's your child. You did that one, champ. You can't do that. Like I said, this is just wild, dog. Looking at these comments, that is just, it is wild, so wild out here, man. Like I said, it's going to get to the point where everybody going to lose. That's pretty much what it's going to be. Everybody going to lose. Everybody is going to lose. What was it? Sham said, darn it. Some of these women can't do it either. That's facts. Sham was like, LOL, Murray's a prime example of that. Yep. 100%. 100%. Like I said before, I would love for things to sit up there and be better. Like I said, there was a story that's up there where a young girl, I think she was like 13 or something, she was a teenager, and she was talking to some dude online, and she decided to sit up there and run away. I'm talking about, she had a whole full-fledged camping bag, and I think she went down to like Virginia or something like that, and the dude got rid of her phone and the burner phone that he gave her, and he just held her captive for 5+ years. And it wasn't up until recently that she was found. Like I said, I'm happy that, she's alive and well. I couldn't even imagine what she had to sit up there and deal with for all of those years, being, trapped or directly in that dude's house. I could not even sit up there and imagine. But like I said, I'm happy that she is alive. I'm happy that she's well. I'm happy that the family is able to get closure, because I've covered a lot of these stories, and 9 times out of 10, these girls don't make it back. They don't make it back. They do not see the light of day. And in a lot of instances as well, the parents don't even get a chance to even view or see a body, because it ain't one. So, Shan was like, traffic. The craziest part is the police wanted to sit up there and say that it had nothing to do with trafficking, even though when you look at the fact that, the dude, I think what he paid for the Uber and a lot of other things, had conversations. Like when you hear the charges and you hear everything that led up to it, it sounds like trafficking. And then on top of that, she went across state lines, if I'm remembering, the story correctly. But like I said, it's wild. Yo, Mahogo, what is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. What is up? What is up? What is up? But yeah, that's pretty much it though. I ain't gonna sit there and keep running my mouth. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that to y'all, but got some videos I'm working on in the background, along with some videos that are actually up. Also, the other thing as well too, I don't even think I got an image of the girl's boyfriend, but if I do, wait, let me see if I do. Let's see, go to image, go to desktop. Let me see where. Yeah, this one. So you got the whole thing with Usher and this woman here, the one that's the clout chaser. That's her boyfriend, right? And he had basically made a post. He said, Usher ain't got nothing on me. I'll let her on stage. In a lot of instances, I sit up there and tell people like, dog, you should just set this up. You should have, you try to, go in here and get like some type of light or whatnot. Like you're that guy. You're not that guy, brother. You're not that. You just should have calmly set this one out and just let the focus be directly on your girl. That's what you should have did. And somebody else had also stated, it was like, the girl really ain't really all that. It's just the fact that she's light. That's it. Like you can sit up there and see, girls like her in the hood, like all the time. Especially when folks sit up there and put on like makeup and all this other type of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, when I was looking at the interview, I'm like, yeah. It's like you can see it. It's like, yeah, it's not like I said, being light has carried her a long way. A long way. And this is, like I said, it's probably going to be the little bit of light that she's ever going to sit up there and get. You know. Shem was like, "Yep, looked up all the girls that were trafficked, and on the island will never be found because they are not there." Slick Tom said, "Let her LOL." Vogel said, "I'm sorry, Sergio, but the situation with the lady getting on stage was dumb. She has a man, and why would she get on stage? Period. Because she said she wanted to be, there with Chris Brown. Like I said, you got some women that's like that. They don't care if you got a lot of women out here that don't care if they're like married, engaged, or whatever it is. They're going to go out there and do what it is that they want to do. This is why I set up and said, like, a lot of the stuff that people be talking don't make sense. So it's like you want to be in a relationship, but also you want single privileges at the same time. You want to be married, but you want to be single and independent at the same time. It's like I said, the stuff is crazy, man. The stuff that folks be doing and how people are moving online, 1,000% crazy. 1,000% crazy. Hero Virus said the vest or die. Slick said she is mid, too much makeup and lip gloss. Hero said Miss Piggy Face coming soon. That's crazy. Slick said basically she wanted to Usher or Chris Brown, and I bet you she would end the relationship if they said no. Of course. If she would have got her wish to be with Chris Brown and Chris Brown was like, yo, I want to like fly you out and I want to like, we can do this, that, and the third. Yeah, magically she don't got no boyfriend. She not in no relationship. She going to be like, yeah, I'm going on a girls trip. I won't be back for like a week. Don't call me. That's exactly what's going to sit up there and happen. That's exactly what sit up there and happen. But yeah, like I said, this dude, he should have just like sit this one out. I'm like, dog, you do realize that Usher can get way better looking women of a multitude of different melanated colors that look better than the girl that you with. And he's been able to pull women like that since he was a teenager. Like, yo, I'm like, man, like I said before, like sometimes like I need guys to like really calculate stuff sometimes because I'm like, dog, you just costed yourself an L. Cost yourself an L. And then on top of that, just like your girl was going to basically embarrass you by going on stage and being with Chris Brown, you just basically embarrassed yourself, and then your girl allowed you to embarrass yourself. You let her on stage, and she let you, write this stupidity. That's crazy. But I guess it's equality somewhere in that relationship. Both people can just be stupid and be happy together. I guess how that's happening. Slick was like she peaked in high school. Cold blooded. Savage said she got kids? What? Okay. That made it 1,000 times worse. That is wild. That is wild. I don't even think I remember seeing like a ring directly on her finger or something. I'm like, all right. Glory to the winner. Like I said, people like making problems. Gabe said facts. Black said when you're good looking and shape, brother, you'll be surprised how many women change their relationship status with a man to we're just friends. It's a cold world. Cold world. Slick said basically dumb and dumber. Bars. 100%. 100%. But that is pretty much it here. Much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all people who have been a part of this conversation, this live stream for about close to 3 hours. Shout out to all of my wonderful moderators for doing the Lord's work, taking out the time to, be here, be a part of the live stream, even, hear me out and just leave a window open. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to those out there who've donated by way of super chat and or jewels. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to the members as well too. Much love, much love. Shout out to anybody who's also a part of the patron. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to anybody who just subscribed and everything of the sort. Like I said, I would not be able to do the things that I do every single day without people like you. And again, after this live stream, I'm gonna let it sit for about I can't even look at my toolbar. There we go. Yeah, I'll let it sit for maybe about like 30 minutes or maybe about like 7:40. Y'all should actually catch a video being posted, and then you have videos, being launched for you guys throughout the morning into tomorrow. So much love, respect, and appreciation. Let me make sure I got the last comment there. I think Ty put an emoji directly in there. Cave said, stay blessed. Shan was like, I don't know, because Usher, a bit of a man moving around with these women. So he'll be about with anything that's cold-blooded, Shan, cold-blooded. I mean, he got options. Usher got options. Shout out to Ty, D-Money. What was it? That's cold-blooded, girl. Cold-blooded. Sham said, nah. Just women, men too. LOL. That's crazy. Diabolical. But yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next live stream and or video. Peace out. Let me get this music. Classic music. Wait. I forgot. Let me pause it real quick. I forgot. I can sit up there. Let me see if it'll let me do it. I can actually play one of. Will they let me upload it? I might be able to actually put up a brand new ditty. No ditty. That's going to be coming to a video near y'all pretty soon. Let me see if it'll let me play it. Will it do it? It's processing.
Passport stamp with every color. Being from London to Toronto. New York winter, Sydney summer.
Coming to a Tether video near you. EBAs.
My mama still in DACA. Sending money through the wire. Uncle asks when I'm coming back. I just clear my throat and sigh. Everywhere but Africa. That's the story of my life. Everywhere but Africa. Living on the other side. Everywhere but Africa. Running circles on the globe. Everywhere but Africa. Never really made it home.
Shout out to Tether Nation.
Granddaddy's land got sold for nothing. Grandmama's recipes I'm bluffing. Acting like I know the culture. But Wikipedia's my tutor. Crossed the Atlantic twice last spring. Never one time made the trip back east. Niggas ask me where I'm from. I say the places that I sleep. Everywhere but Africa. That's the story of my life. Everywhere but Africa. Living on the other side. Everywhere but Africa. Running circles on the globe. Everywhere but Africa. Never really made it home. Brazil to Belize. Dubai to the UK. King's language on my license, but my mother tongue decay. They call it being global. I call it